Yes, sirski.
And like that, we're back with another Unpacked presented to you by the To Be Fair Show and
The G Shit Podcast.
It doesn't matter how you feel.
all right, y'all see the title. Y'all understand what the conversation is. This is part two. Is Black America losing its cultural leverage, impact, and soft power? So we'll try and get into a couple different things in episode, but like we're going to try our best to examine the Black state of cultural dominance in music, film, and digital media. If Black America's political voice and global cultural influence is weakening, is the role of social media amplifying or diluting Black culture? Are corporations and mainstream platforms profiting off of Black culture without proper representation? And last but not least, strategies to actually restore and enhance if we are losing any of that leverage. But before we get into that, we got a fire panel right here. It's the guys. I'm gonna toss it to my right. G, talk to him, brother.
What's good, everybody? It's G, host of the G Shit Podcast, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future, and fuck everything else. Check it out wherever you get your pods. Just search GSHPOD. Hi.
Yep. Y'all see him. 1/3 of the To Be Fair Show. Host of the To Be Fair Show. Catch him riding with Benny the Butcher and Johnny P. Caddy. Talk to him, brother. What's going on?
What's going on, family, man? Glad to be back. Yeah, we coming with the part two. Kind of tie up some loose ends from last week. Like Unc say, y'all hit the like button, share, hop in the super chat. Hey, let's get it.
All right, fellas. So we got a couple icebreakers that we do want to hit. But before we go into any videos, there has been a couple breaking developments, I guess you would say, as it pertains to the Epstein Trump drama. Um, there has been over the past days, there's been Trump dropping a couple, hey, here goes MLK. That might, distract the niggas a little bit. Hey, Obama, he did some shit that might distract the niggas a little bit. Also, Hillary in the crime family, they did something also. And so he's threw out a couple crumbs to see kind of where and if people will be interested in it. I think we'll dive a little bit into one of those, dealing with our brother or Johnny's brother, Obama. But before we get there, there has been breaking news. I don't know. Maybe that's not your brother, Johnny. My bad.
Man, he light skinned, bro.
He light skinned. Okay. He African though. All right, we ain't gonna get there. All right. All right. So, nonetheless, over the past maybe 5 hours ish, I've seen him pop up in like the past 5 to 6 hours. His DOJ, the Trump camp, what's his name, Bon Johnny, whatever is dude, the dude with the crazy hairline. But they're saying, and they've been speaking to, or kind of like releasing the word around Capitol Hill, and it's starting to break on major publications that Trump is in the Epstein files, which rings very familiar to what Elon Musk was saying. This is not specifically saying what he's in the file for, but the Trump camp is pretty much saying that he's in the Epstein files multiple times. Fellas, how do y'all feel about that? Thoughts?
I mean, like they say in the White House knew, and they're not surprised. So I guess the context can't be too bad. But I guess that's why he was, trying not to get it released. But we all knew Yeah, we seen the pictures. They got the flight records. Like, we know he's been like
What makes you
on
think
the
that
plane.
they
Trump been over there
what makes you think that they believe it went what makes you think that it's not that bad off of that statement?
because, like at least according to CNN, they say the White House isn't surprised his name is present in the binders. Uh, and so I imagine if you become president and you're like doing this, they can't be like I'm just hoping. Like I don't know. It may be terrible, but I'm just trying to give the man a little benefit of the doubt.
Listen, all I know is that like if you was guilty and you had to say something, you'd be like, I knew it was in there. It ain't nothing though. I feel like that would be the play that you would probably run. G, talk to me, brother.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, we know he was there. We know he was there frequently at that. Like they were homies. They were acquaintances. They had a clear if it's not a relationship, they had a clear
Well, I guess the more it's come
situationship.
out, like especially prior to the pedo charges and conviction dropping, like they was like real homies.
They
Like
was chilling, doing
I
rich
think
white man
that both
shit.
of their wives would pretty much say that they were almost on like best friend time. Uh, it's kind of interesting, like when you like walk through the track of like their shit. But I will also say Trump did hit a pivot once that conviction dropped. So those are things to be said with that. Do you think that this is something nothing? Like again, this is kind of like the developing news right now. So there's not too much stamped on it as in like how MAGA is reacting, how anybody's reacting, and what this means kind of moving forward. If this news even pushes them to have to push it forward because with his name being in there, a lot more speculation will come. What do y'all think is going to come from this?
Well,
None.
I mean, I'd imagine that since his name is out there, like they, officially is in the Epstein files, they
Appreciate
might
it,
well,
brother.
they might well push it and get the whole thing released. Like
Hmm.
I would love to see that, like as just a concerned citizen of the country, tax-paying citizen of the country. I'd like to see what's in them files. I think it's just beneficial for everybody.
Shout out Chuck. Chuck said like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button. Fat boy, we appreciate it, man. We, like small upgrades. It's like little upgrades at a time, man.
Just little
You know.
things.
But G, talk to us, brother.
Man, I don't think much gonna come from this because uh, Trump is only president for he's got this term. This is gonna be something that he's already squashed. They've already addressed it. Like these
Oh,
files are
you think
not
it's
coming
already
out.
squashed?
They're not coming out. They don't exist no more. Delete. Hit it with the men in black. Forget
Well, they tried
everything
that,
you
but it
heard.
seemed like he said that, and then he said, no, actually, it was Obama's White House. Actually, the Democrats and anybody that believes this is a Republican is lazy and stupid.
Don't even worry
And then
about
they
it now.
said, "Hey, we also fuck it. We gonna talk to Epstein girl. Bring Glenn in. We actually gonna do the interview. Like they slowly, like, it's been interesting to me because it's like they came out really strong and said ain't shit to see, and then each day it becomes like a new thing. That's been the interesting part to me personally, is that like every day it becomes like a new way to walk back a little bit and be like, well, maybe.
I think it's
Um,
just a media taking advantage of a story.
mhm,
Trump giving them what they want. Media
mhm.
taking advantage. Everybody know I mean, it's such an apparent lie that it's Shane Gillis making jokes about it at the ESPYS, like about things disappearing.
Mhm.
We know it's a lie, and there's nothing nobody's gonna do about it. That's just how it's like Trump. Like, what you gonna do? That's how he move. How he move. It's like, yeah, I lied.
I, I understand what you're saying. I
What was
think
that
that this is
dude?
like such an interesting place. I'm gonna throw right to you, Johnny. Just because like this is the actual first time we've seen MAGA fracture, and it's
I
continued to
like that.
split even more and more. Johnny.
What was the dude? The NSA guy, Eric Snowden.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I've seen something. All right, go ahead. Let me hear where you want to go.
Like at this point, like there's enough smart people on the internet. Like the shit is out there. It's somewhere on somebody's hard drive. It's like we just somebody just need to release it. like, and to just get the fuck out because, like,
WikiLeaks it.
yeah, like it somebody has it. There's people who've seen it. There's people that probably read all the shit and know, way more than we. We just kind of, you know, brainstorming and thinking about what it is. But there's people that's read it, and I think if you're covering up for this kind of stuff, if you've read it and then now you're just going along with the cover up, you're just as guilty. And I think we've got to start calling for all these people, blue, red, left, right. It's a hell of a list to be on. Like, I mean, no matter what kind of politics you say, like to be caught up in something like this is like, very bad for the leadership of our country. And
Yeah.
we gotta out them.
And what I will say is that, like, if I'm giving like a belief, I don't know, like I don't really believe that Trump probably was doing like the underage shit. I think that he's probably implicated inside other things within the file, and that probably be the issue with him, why he might not want to, and like the whole eyes wide shut part of the elite class. And that's more so kind of like what Shannon was doing with the shorty that he had to settle out for $5 million more. I feel like that might be Trump's angle.
Was $5 million the number for Shannon Sharp?
Oh no, I said $5 million more. I think it was 15 million.
I thought she was going for 50.
She went for 50, but they settled. I didn't know if the number had came out though.
Oh, what my bad. When I'm saying $5 million more, I think that Shannon and them, they tried to throw a 10, and they settled for 15, and that's the $5 million more.
That's 15.
That's an expensive box right there.
Yeah. She said, I have officially. She sent the post on the OnlyFans. She said, I have officially retired. I am no longer an OnlyFans creator. Life changing money.
He took out the game.
Right. Unfortunately, he didn't do it the right way. Well, I don't know. I don't know how long his money is. Maybe that is the right way. All right. So this would be our first or our second icebreaker of the night. She'll be back. All right. This goes to ICE. I think that they're now attempting to hire ICE agents at maybe 2 times, possibly 3 to, I don't know, what's that, 7 times the salary of what the average teacher makes. I'll push play and we can have a quick little conversation.
$132,000 to $185,000 per year for supervisory roles and $306,000 per year for concentration camp managers. Both jobs have 0 education requirement. Yeah, that money for Medicaid, Medicare, research, education, all that going to ICE. You feel me? We care more about criminalization than we care about education in this country. Now what happens? Meanwhile, the average starting salary is $46,526 for teachers and $68,485 for nurses. Both jobs require a bachelor's degree and often a graduate degree. They care so much about health and children, but when it comes to putting your money where your mouth is, all of a sudden they come up bankrupt every time. On my grandpa's grave, it's a lie that we can't pay teachers and nurses. An uneducated and sick populace is easier to control, creates higher crime rates, feeds the prison industrial complex. This is all by design. It also lines the pockets of the private sector. They don't want to regulate the water. They don't want to do nothing with the streets. They don't want to do no research. They don't want to pay no teachers. You see what I'm saying? But they want to use our taxpayers' dollars to make sure that the ICE people is well paid.
Fellas, what is your thoughts?
I mean, that's a nice little chunk of change right there. Like, I mean, that's a nice little. I mean, to go get Hector and the boys. Hey,
God bless America, right, Johnny? Only in America can you get that type of paper, baby.
Paso way. I mean,
only in America can you get that type of paper, baby.
Hey, I know exactly where they be at. You know, I'm gonna call my boy Rail. Like, hey,
damn. All right, so past the idea of it sounds like a quick flip. If you don't have a college degree and
what you got to lose,
and what you got to lose. I'm sure that they're probably not properly naming it concentration camps, but but nonetheless, what is your thoughts on the idea of ICE workers getting paid pretty much like the claim that consciously was making, where it speaks to the value of America in general. You're cutting Medicaid, you're cutting, all of these essential things that deal with the lifestyle or like the life experience of the average or below average person. But now we're kind of like putting some of these, bells and trinkets towards something that might, one might say is a bit more expendable. Like you're paying teachers between 45 to 60. You're paying them what did it say? 185, 130 to 185. Supervisory roles is hitting at 300K. Does that speak to like a imbalance inside our moral system as America? Is this something that actually like it needs to get paid at this price because that's how important immigration is? I don't know. What's your thoughts?
I think that it's two things. Like, I think one, it could be a fair argument in terms of like, how are we quote unquote talking about big government, big budget spending to cut these programs just to hyperinflate another program with a crazy budget. So I can agree that like, if we're going to argue less spending, smaller government, then it doesn't make sense to cut programs and services for needy people and then funnel all that money in for hiring for like something else that's government funded. But at the same time, I think when you look at job markets, like, unfortunately, economics aren't emotional. And while it sounds like we all know the value of teachers and nurses, the unfortunate part is that the skill sets required to do these roles are just not as value as said by the labor market. The skill set isn't as valuable, and the amount of people who can do those jobs is actually pretty high. Whereas when you look at these jobs that are probably listed at ICE, nobody's going to want to live on the border. Nobody, like, not a lot of people are going to want to sign up to live that lifestyle that's going to be required to do those jobs. So they're trying to make them as attractive of a job as possible just to fill the position. Whereas like with teachers and nurses, you don't have to make those jobs attractive to fill them. Like at the end of the day, like, and respectfully, you don't have, like, it doesn't take a lot for someone to become a teacher or a nurse. You kind of just got to finish school and you can do your thing. Like,
right. But this doesn't, but to that point, I guess the ICE agent, it doesn't take anything. I imagine probably besides for like some level of like just basic physical stature to make sure that you're able to.
They're gonna train you. The government gonna train you.
Right,
that's
right.
Why it don't take no education prior.
But by that metric, though, these agents are getting paid more than our military. These agents are getting paid more than the police officers. Like these agents are getting paid more than like people that, in essence, do the job with higher risk and less reward. That exact same thing. I don't know. To me, it just seems like an interesting imbalance. If you're going to pay, I think starting pay for like a military guy might be like 35 to 40K. Out of basic training.
Jobs, you know what I'm saying? You could
police officer. It's fairly low as well. Where this would be 3 times the pay of that. So it's, I don't know. It just seems like a weird.
But they're not the same jobs either. Like, I don't know what the ICE description is, but like, an entry-level police officer, on a beat versus what these ICE people are going to have to potentially do and train to do. I don't necessarily see them as the same job.
What about military?
Military got all, like, I got family in the military and they were electricians, and I got family in the military that did. So,
but you're cool with ICE getting paid more than the active military.
I don't know if it's a blanket across the thing that they're getting paid more than,
Well, it looks like the price range is 132. So starting pay would be about 3 times.
I don't know if that's the entry level ICE though. I don't know if that's the entry level ICE position. You get what I'm saying? It
says supervisory role. Okay.
So yeah, it's like, it's a little bit different when you're a supervisor versus like, just entry level. Because
let me look at how much a military advisor makes. Like, what's the keep that. Yeah.
Because then that makes it even more, makes more sense. Because if you're a supervisor for such a program, who knows how big of a territory you're supervising and how many agents are up under you.
Oh yeah, and I think like it's a tougher job too. So, and again, like when you get up to that supervisory role, they're looking at like they're a little higher than the police because they have like
Okay, all right. So
special
let me so ICE makes between 47 and 72K annually. Like if you're just an ICE officer.
That's in the same ballpark as the similar positions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's too far off. I mean, compared for what they do, and what's required of them. I think that's a pretty fair number.
Like I wonder how many agents a supervisor gotta supervise, and how big of a territory. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, but I don't think it's a good economic argument to compare certain jobs to the nobleness of teachers and nurses, because it's like, yeah, that, like they are very important and have a huge value to like society and quality of life, but it's just it's just not how the labor market works. And you talk about AI, teachers and nurses are two of the professions early on the list that are going to get replaced by like robots and shit like that.
Come on, I haven't heard specifically nurses.
Oh yeah.
Well, you said teachers also. I get that. Those are two ones that I haven't specifically heard being on the chopping block. They're gonna have robots teaching the kids.
I mean, they already do virtual learning. You can get a deep fake and program it to teach a curriculum. You don't need to hire somebody.
Like kids need supervision though.
I think teaching is probably going to be one. In my opinion, I think teaching and nursing are two of the ones that I thought was, especially not like I think people that read scans and things like that. There's a bunch of medical jobs that will get automated really quickly, but like say nurses, the ones that got to go change people, the ones that got to make sure that they put things in people's arms. Like if you go anywhere, like the person that does all the prep for the doctor, to me, their job isn't really going anywhere. If you look at like middle school and elementary school teachers, like the more of the behavioral management piece, it's hard for me to see that those two things are going away.
Yeah, behavioral management, but I'm talking about like if you are like in high school, right? And you take online classes, and you like as early as sometimes middle school, people start taking online classes, right?
But that's hyper minority in general as well.
But it's becoming more and more normal post COVID with online virtual learning.
Nah, these kids in the school. All right, I can just speak to like Charlotte and the public schooling, so I can't speak to anything else. But
so I'm saying there's a growing market. There's a growing market for virtual teaching services to where,
right,
if you've got the resources, you can pay for these online courses. Like whether it be universities offer it, private institutions offer it.
I definitely see it at like the higher levels.
You can have all types of ACT prep online now. You can do all types of stuff, like where traditionally, if you were doing test prep for ACT, SAT, you have to go sit in like a physical place and an instructor would be like giving you test tips and shit like that. Whereas today you can do that whole thing online from your desk or table somewhere virtually. And what I'm saying, I
understand it, but I do. Do you think that that's different than like the day-to-day teacher work though? Like doing like a course that's like ACT prep in comparison to teaching a course.
I put it like this.
Especially whether you go elementary, middle school, high school. Also, I think higher levels it might be different, but I think that in my opinion, those are things that's going to be phased out way later. I think human interaction with kids is way more important.
I put it like this as it relates to teaching and why I say the skill set is not as valuable, because what you will need is maybe somebody to watch the behavior of the room to keep people on track, like a supervisor, but a virtual assistant can still do all the teaching and grading while you are just there proctoring, making sure that the class is in order.
Yeah, so, I just don't think that that's how effective teaching works. Like even kids have like different learning styles. They don't care about what's
effective. They just cut Wake County budget $10 million for education. They don't really care. Like public schools don't really care about being effective with teaching, in my opinion. They're going to do the most cost-effective thing to keep everything going.
Yeah, I guess because I have more opinions on it, but we'll probably get like stuck into a rabbit hole, and this will end up like branching itself out further. Maybe we can kind of break down education in general and our thoughts on it inside a later episode because we kind of going off the what did they say? We're losing the plot. That's what the kids say. How was this connected to what we were talking about?
I was talking about nurses and teachers.
Talking about ice. We were talking about how much ice.
Oh, like the value of an ice job. Okay, all right, yeah. We can get up this one. All right, let's Unc. Shout out Unc. Unc sent this into the Discord. I'll drop the link to the Discord soon. If y'all want to join the Discord, feel free to join it. Like I say, every time that I speak about the Discord, enter at your own risk. But with that said, I'm gonna push play. This is gonna take us into a little red pill land.
There's gonna be a lot of women that get mad at me for this post.
Oh, shout out Brianna. Listen, if you do want to call in and feel free to talk on behalf of teachers, let me know. I'll drop the link. But Johnny, Brianna said, "Hey,
what's going on? How you doing,
man? That you're with."
Oh, my bad. Y'all can't see this, right? Let me share screen. Mm-hmm.
He's ruining your future if you ever plan on leaving him because he is the only man that's going to tolerate your mouth. He is the only man that's going to tolerate that extra weight that you gained. Hear me out for a second. These other men will sleep with you. These other men will pretend to be interested until they get exactly what they want. But right after that, as soon as you start to become a headache, as soon as you start to have expectations, as soon as you start to voice your opinion too much, they're going to give you a stiff boot to your wide ass. Listen to me and listen to me clearly. You always know a wife because she's just naturally submissive. She knows how to pick and choose her battles. She knows when to shut that mouth. She knows when to relax. A lot of you women, I'm telling you, you leave your man right now, you're going to die single. Dildo, a bottle of Boone's Farm, and 1,000 cats or a little Yorkie. That's your future.
All right, fellas. Thoughts, facts, fallacy, more red pill rhetoric needed for young men. I don't know. What do y'all think? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think too many men putting up with all of that.
Putting up with all of what?
Like he made it seem like there's the guy like just dealing with all her bad shit, and then like the next person ain't gonna do it. Like I don't think nobody gonna just stay to, get treated like shit. So I don't think like that man teaching her anything wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that man. Okay. G.
You muted.
Yeah, you muted, my brother.
Maybe I'm confused because, like, wait, Johnny, I don't know if I understand your response based off the video.
Listen, I was gonna leave my take at the end, but
I just like maybe I saw a different. I didn't know, but like I didn't know if I got Johnny's response based off the video. That's why I don't know.
He said like that man gonna like that man putting up with all your shit, and then like the next man ain't. But like I don't think like I think everybody has a limit, and I don't think there's one man that's just putting up with everything that like. I think every man has their limit.
Okay.
Y'all want to play the video again, or is everybody good on it?
No, I mean I'm cool. I'm cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I do think like yeah, okay. There's a line, but the general point of what he's saying is pretty true in terms of if you've got a sort of like equity with one person and they've gotten tolerant or used to some of your quirks or ways,
okay,
and you think that another nigga is going to be just as tolerant to those same quirks and ways, you are sadly mistaken. So you might want to value that ability to have peace and like being who you are versus thinking that, you know, everybody's gonna like that cup of tea. So I still think what he says is pretty true as well.
I didn't think he was talking about like quirks and stuff. It sounded like he was talking about like just being like,
yeah, well, just attitudes and shit. I would say I'll take the other side of the argument. I think it's just kind of talk. To be honest, I think that reality is that females with attitudes, bad behavior, the whole little shit. As long as her value's still high enough, it's gonna be another nigga that's gonna be there to save him. That's just the reality of it. You see it time and time again. Like we can go the famous route. How
you know, she get that value though, Q? What make her valuable?
To like the average dude, if she just looks good enough, to be honest. Okay. Like if she looks good enough, in the words of Corey Holcomb, you ain't never seen a dime in the gutter. They get picked up no matter what, over and over and over and over. You can see Shorty that got shout out Anthony Edwards. He just had Shorty that had what, like 5 baby daddies or 3 baby daddies. It was something crazy. And she was like 36. And what'd he do? Put another one in her. Like it's like guys be just doing the, like, I don't know, like to me is the issue will come if like you've lost a specific value and you still want to be treated like a bad B. But like Bernice Burgos have shown, you can be 48 and if you look attractive enough, Jaylen Brown gonna want you.
That the girl Drea's, she just told her boyfriend, I had my license longer than
you've been living. Yeah, and Drea was on the internet saying, can my wholeness be deleted? Like just perspective wise. And that's why I say, like, to me it's kind of talk, because the reality is, like, no matter how you want to put it, whether you want to call them simps or the market or whoever, there's always some guys with money, if you look good enough, that is willing to take the chance and put up with your shit. That's what I have seen from just like the experiences inside like my circular, you know what I mean, area. That'd be my take.
Yeah, I don't think we gotta spend too much on that one.
Okay. All right. Then damn, yeah, we kind of running through these there.
You know, we not a red pill crowd.
Gotcha.
Not anymore.
I was gonna say,
yeah. We done dropped off some of the red pill edges. Nah, shout out to the guys. Shout out.
Y'all want that red pill? Hey, yeah, they say they still in the chat though at that Discord. Make sure y'all join that Discord.
Oh, yeah, they definitely in the Discord. Yeah, shout out A Black. I think A Black is literally in Africa right now. He doing his second tour. I feel like it's for his school, but nonetheless, you know, he's in the motherland. Shout out to A Black. Oh yeah, and FBA Trey, he's a devout Discord warrior. So, you know, shout out to the homie as well. With that said, I guess this kind of will lead us into a bit of the first part of our conversation as we get into moving into Black culture, its relevance, and if it's losing leverage or not. I think that G said that this is a very interesting collection of men. But with that said, let's unpack a little bit of what they're talking about and see if we agree, disagree. I think it might be Kirk Franklin, Jeezy, Tyler Perry. I don't know. It's hard to think of another random name, but they all in here. I'm push play.
Yeah. Let's go back to that.
Just another part of it too is I don't think that we completely understand.
My bad. This is also one quick thing that I want to say. This ain't really got nothing to do with this, but it also has something to do with it. I think that where do they go to get them hair transplants? Where they be going? They be going to like Indonesia or something. Like where are they? Istanbul. Yeah. I feel like it's Istanbul.
Turkey.
Like once you get over a certain age, you got to get the age appropriate hairline. And you know what I mean? Like Akon, he didn't get the age appropriate hairline. Kurt Franklin,
as hell.
he looked like he ain't getting the age appropriate hairline. Like, don't get the hairline from when you was 18. Get like your 32-year-old hairline,
Push it up a little.
where it looks a little bit more natural. You know what I mean? He trying to go with the Paul George, and it just ain't working. But I'll push play. My bad. That was just, it was a triggering moment. And I advocate for all my homies to at least do it right. If you're gonna do it, just do it right.
Understand what is happening to us with social media. I don't think we understand
Say that louder.
what is we are being torn apart mentally, dogged out, especially the nigga net. The nigga net is the worst thing I've ever
nigga net.
The nigga net. I'm talking about the internet.
They ain't got no lines.
The nigga net is what we attack each other. We go after each other. We're constantly, and I don't know. I haven't seen another race do it as awful as we do to each other.
True.
So if you let all of that stuff in and never turn it off, and never turn off the news, never step back, never, like you say, go away, walk away from all of this stuff and the noise, like literally turn it off. I promise you, if people would just turn it off for a while, you'll see your whole mentality changes.
Do you ever put your
I
phone down?
applaud you for even being that tuned in.
Yes.
To
The nigga
what's
that.
going.
Yeah.
The part too.
Yeah.
I try myself to like let my team run that and stay as far away from that as possible.
All right. There's a couple things to unpack in there. I think G, you probably want to lead us off with one. Yeah, I'll talk to you.
Man, I just the pot calling the kettle black, talking about what the black race does to each other to attack each other. Yet this nigga make nothing but nigga-tainment movies in large part that are an attack on black masculinity. So you know. For him to make that comment, but yet for him to be one of the main sources to create content that then gets driven and inflated by algorithmic stuff on the internet, like a lot of that shit is derived off of things that his content produces. I just think that's a very like disingenuous statement from him and in that moment, because he's made literally billions off of pitting black people against other black people from a community perspective in the name of entertainment. So I think that's just crazy.
I don't think like it's not even putting us against each other. He just like profits off of black trauma. Like he puts it in movies, and he like even the last movie, I forgot the name of it. I couldn't even finish watching it. With Carrie, whatever the chick was.
Washington, is that what you're talking about?
Carrie or Taraji, I think it was.
No, he had Taraji Henson. Oh my god,
yeah,
I did. I actually did sit and watch that.
That was doing the sad
yeah, I was.
And
I put it on with Taj. And did you watched it?
I turned it off.
I couldn't get.
Yeah, listen. When I tell you, like the first 20 minutes was the worst like version of like poppy trauma porn ever.
I had some boomers.
He was getting shitted on at the job. Went to the crib. Daughter was shitting on her. Then left got up because of like shit was too loud at the house. And you know what I mean? What was it like? She had water at the crib, and then she had to leave the house.
They kicked her out, and it was raining.
No, wait. Before they kicked her out, like.
It was terrible.
Now, what is it called? Not the super. Let's say the property manager, and she about to go to work, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna put your shit out." Right? We gonna put your shit out in the street if you don't pay me by 12, in front of the whole entire little. You know what I mean?
Who the fuck get off at 12?
And I'm like, what version of reality could the person that wrote this been in, outside of saying like, I'm gonna put this black woman in as much trauma as possible?
Bro, I had a
room. Thing, it never let up in the movie. That motherfucker kept going through trauma.
I had a room of baby boomers tell me that movie was better than Sinners.
Oh no, that
like and not even a joke. They were like Sinners was terrible.
Motherfuckers ain't got eyes.
And like I was
listen.
You rather watch that Tyler Perry movie than Sinners?
That was one of the worst movies
and they tripled down on
that. Yeah, that's a horrible take.
I was like, that is crazy. That's crazy.
Downbeat. Listen. I have an excuse. I can't tell you why Johnny was watching it, but I was with my old lady, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Sometimes you got to put a
Hey.
movie on before you go to sleep on. And number one on Netflix, Taraji P Henson.
I
That's
don't
a
want to hear
decent
no
track
nigga
record.
out there talking about they don't watch nothing. Like it's something out there that you are watching simply just because you are with your significant other.
Oh,
and
of
if you
course.
and if
that's
you're
one of
not,
them ones.
and if
Yeah,
you're
that's-
not, somebody will, nigga. I'm just letting you know. Somebody
Motherfucker sending a
somebody
Netflix
will. So
DM.
you better tighten up, my nigga.
Yeah, listen,
Tighten up.
we can't want our old lady to want to watch basketball with us, but then not look at a little balloon pop. You gotta look at a little balloon pop
Little
if
Love
you want her to
Island.
watch sports with you.
Every
Like
Wednesday before you
it's
watch
a fair
Unpacked.
trade off. You say
Yeah.
what?
Every Wednesday before you watch Unpacked. That's part of my routine.
But yeah, nonetheless, backstory. Understand why he back. I don't know. I'll read that in a second. But yeah. Nah, that movie was horrible. And I think that you know how I had recently had like an epiphany, and I was like, damn, why is Eminem so corny? And somebody, I think they in the chat right now, and they said all his punchlines just sound like dad jokes. And then they put it in perspective because I looked up his age and he was 55.
God damn.
I was like, oh damn,
He been old.
that makes sense. Like I shouldn't have these requirements for a 55-year-old when it comes down to punchlines and how good it is, right? But then you'll fuck around and then you have like a clips drop, and then you find out Malice is 52, but the bar is still hitting. It still resonates. It still feels like a thing. You know what I mean? And I say that to say to you, G, I take that take to that whoever those boomers was that you was talking to. I think that they part of the Eminem grouping. Like yeah. We need more Malices and less Eminems because to say that Sinners was comparable in less than to whatever that shit was. I don't even remember the name of it.
Me neither.
Right.
Like you those are bad raps.
I feel like it was another one word
That's a dad
movie
joke.
with an
Like,
S.
God
Like, was
damn.
it like Scout or Stop or some shit like that? Like I
It
think
was something. It was something.
Yeah,
something.
sad as hell.
Yeah.
Sad, presented by Solitary.
This bitch hurt. That's the name of it.
Yeah.
God damn. Shit getting robbed and then she get blamed for it's just everything was happening. But
Like, that was the worst day of worst days. Like top 10,
yeah,
top 2 worst days of all time.
Yeah, it seemed like he wrote down how can I make a really bad version of Friday that puts black women in trauma. But saying all that to say, they actually did talk about real things inside there. I thought an interesting space of it was what he claimed as the nigger net and the divisiveness of the nigger net that he says he doesn't see within other communities. Do you think that is true, false, an exaggeration, a true statement? I don't know, fellas. Talk to me.
I mean, I think the internet's just wired to be, divisive no matter which way you look at it. I don't think that's something specifically just to like the nigga net or thing. I think that's just the internet doing its thing, and we have so much going on in our community that it gets exacerbated, of course, and like you see it like on a larger scale on the internet. But I don't think it's nothing that like white people do with the internet that we don't do, or like I think it's just the internet's going.
So you don't think that like the colloquial? I ain't even gonna try and say that term right now.
Colloquialisms.
There you go. Like that the term Black Twitter doesn't mean anything. The shade room doesn't mean anything. The way kind of how often on the internet we always are like, damn, black people turn anything into jokes. That means nothing. Or is that like just
we're
a
talking about it being divisive.
unfair representation?
I think we're talking about is it divisive? Like I think like there's negativity in each community on the internet. Like I don't think it's just
Okay.
relegated to just black people doing bad things on the internet. I think that's a little unfair. But I mean, of course, we have our fair share of it, of course, and like there's things in our community that could be fixed, and it's not fun to see them on the internet, and that comes like sometimes it turns to represent us as a whole, but I think that's within every community.
And there are white gossip platforms too, like TMZ and other joints that focus on like mainstream white stuff. So like, like I do think for whatever reason, black people are just funnier on the internet. So the shit goes viral more. Like the jokes are funnier. Like, it's just the way that black folks joke is other I think other communities are envious or jealous of just how like creative black folks are with jokes in terms of just how they communicate with each other. I think that other communities see that and be like, damn, I wish I was that witty or that funny or could, do those things. So I feel like it's just more of like, now that it's on the internet and they get to kind of witness it, without having to be like in an actual neighborhood, they can see niggas doing nigga shit on the internet without having to be in these, other areas.
I don't know if that speaks to like what he was saying though. Like he was talking about, and what he claimed the nigga net to be is like the ignorance of black people and its division exacerbated on the internet.
No, I just disagree. We just have fun on the internet, and then like white people get on the internet and disagree about politics or money or religion. Like white folks will get up here and argue if you hit the right nerve with one another. But with us, we just gonna have more fun with it. I think more than anything, and that's what you see on the internet.
I agree with G with everything he's saying. You know what I'm saying? G hit the nail on the head with everything he was saying about Tyler Perry. How you gonna come from you wanting to call something a nigga net or whatever, and look at all these moves you made? How you make your mom? You was the king of mama plays. You know what I'm saying? That's where he started from. Mama, I want to sing was the original play. And he took that Mama, I want to sing and made a whole history of mama plays with him putting on a damn dress. Now, if that ain't the most niggerish shit you could ever do, what can you do besides that? He's the most niggerish person out here. Yes, he might be the person that has the money he has and doing the things he's doing, but yet he's the most niggerish person he is. You know what I mean? Out of anything you ever see, what more niggers? He made more. Him by himself has made more nigger movies than the whole 70s black exploitation era. Him by himself, he got more nigger movies than was in the 70s doing black exploitation.
I'll also say this: he is responsible for probably putting the worst wigs on black men. That nigga throw the wig on the light-skinned black man over and over. I'd be like, that's so nasty. My bad, Unc. Keep going.
No, but what I'm saying is that you got to look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? G had a great point when he said that because it's the truth. If you look at all the black movies that came out of the 70s that you would call black exploitation movies, and some of them had a valid point to them, and some of them did great things or this, that, whatever. All his movies is him wearing a dress or some man beating on a damn woman, some woman crying because she got there and sat out there and gave coochie up to the wrong man or the wrong men and all this shit. All he do is exploit what goes on in the hood for everybody to see. And he started off by doing mama plays. Mama plays was the worst fucking thing that's ever happened. It was a tourism around niggas goddamn going around here doing plays about nigga shit. That's what he did. That's how he made his money from the beginning to now. And G, I was just fucking with you earlier when I got there said about you goddamn had that take on whatever about you, the FBA shit. I'm just fucking with you.
Oh, that's all good.
That's all good. But what I'm saying though, he was the worst thing. So how the hell can he come around and say anything about anybody doing anything niggerish when he got there and made the nigga movement? He the king of the nigga movement.
He on the Mount Rushmore of just nigga shit, right?
Oh no, I definitely will put him up on like for black.
If you get up Mount Rushmore of buffoons and niggerish shit, he gonna goddamn be the first face up there smiling with that wig on.
Yeah, I said, would you put him up there with or without the wig? I think we have to put him in the Hall of Fame with the dress on, right?
Him and Medea
have him with that wig and
Medea gotta be up there. Yeah.
No, but you also like to be fair. I think that he I don't even know if like he like he makes the Mount Rushmore, but he needs his own little section. You know how like that the Naismith Hall of Fame, they got their own section. Like you gotta have him, the Medea with the fake cigarette, and then you gotta have the ashy knee Mr. Brown. Like you gotta have like all that like stereotypical coonish shit up there. Cause he did a bunch of them. Like he said,
yeah, he did.
Is there another trope I can run into? Oh damn, black men, dark skinned ones, those the evil ones. All right. He said, let me make sure I get a reformed light-skinned jail nigga that's gonna save a woman. Like he every single time he kind of ran down these exact same similar tropes, in which I think he did his own exhibit, if anything, like
a museum.
A museum, like just a part, a wing in a museum. Yeah.
The only dark-skinned dude that ever saved anybody was Idris Elba when he had them kids in that movie. That was the only dark-skinned dude he did. And he had to go to England to find him. It wasn't no good nigga in America. He had to go to England. He had to go to England to find him a goddamn nigga, a dark-skinned nigga. Because there ain't no good dark-skinned niggas in America.
Damn. He said he couldn't rely on the FBA. That's tough. That's tough. But nonetheless, Unc, we appreciate you calling in for a quick second. We're gonna hop into the conversation. We'll be doing another call in fairly quickly.
I got y'all 100.
All right, so if you want to hang around. But yeah, we're gonna quickly segue into let me make sure we check some of the chats. But yeah, segue into just the main topic, in which what he was talking about, the nigga net, is pieces of what we call the Black experience, Black culture, and how we kind of represent ourselves, whether in person and online. The flagship topic to the conversation, part 2, is Black America losing its cultural leverage, impact, and or soft power. I'll start off with just asking y'all that simple question, and we can kind of go down some bulleted points. But right now, where we're at, would you say that Black America is losing its cultural leverage?
Yeah, and I think, the internet has done, some exacerbating of that, where like you see a lot of people copycatting, and like a lot of the things that you see like that we've done, they can study it, and then now they can do it, put their own spin on it. And so I think a lot of the time that they're not necessarily like using us as that influence or that spark as much. And I think they've already taken it, and then they, the internet allows, the MAGA, like MAGA. I think that's one of those things where like it's kind of taken down, Black, because it's such a spirited group. They got so much momentum.
Oh, I see what you said. Yeah.
That, and they're like, fuck, and they really don't care. It's like a middle finger, and they've gotten so much leverage that I think naturally we have lost a little bit of our power, whatever you want to call it, the influence. I think over the last 6 to 8 years, we've definitely seen a slide in that.
Okay, and so like if I'm to ask you just a little bit more on what you said, because I think you said something interesting I hadn't really thought about. So you think that some of Black people's cultural influence is dwindling based off of almost like a U-turn of white culture in their push back against cancellation culture, i.e. like how MAGA, that these are a decent section of them, the whites, the quote unquote white supremacists, XYZ, that are now like, nah, fuck it, we just gonna say it and say it loud.
Yeah, and I think they're using like a lot of the, I mean, they're standing 10 toes on the ground. I think a lot of the momentum is built off like strategies, like the grassroots strategies that like we've seen with a lot of our movements over the years. I think MAGA has done something similar to that in their community, and where they trying to steal the line is, it's uncomfortable.
In which like they led the charge on like say DEI and affirmative action being kind of canceled and pushed away. Anything that's race based or like anything like George Floyd or Black Lives, like anything that dealt with race, they intentionally tried to step on it, and like it was the first pushback that we've probably seen in our like in our lifetime that went against Black causes. That's an interesting take. G, talk to us, brother.
And Johnny kind of fucked me up. What was the original question?
Is Black America losing its cultural leverage?
I have to say, cultural leverage. Yeah, overall, I would say yeah on the fact that culturally we're so fractured today relative to years past. A lot of the pillars of the culture are not as strong as what they used to be compared to years past. And so, and then when you look at the George Floyd post Black Lives Matter stuff and everything, and just that ended up being a whole joke of a run, in hindsight, with how everything went down with Black Lives Matter as an organization.
So would you say that my bad, let me let you finish it, then I'll ask.
Yeah, I would just say that like these examples lead me to believe that the cultural influence is not as, it's on the decline, not on the incline or increase.
Gotcha. And when you say pillars, what do you mean by that?
Like the Black church, for example.
Okay.
That was a huge thing in our community. Even like outside of the church, just community-based organizations as a whole, that used to be more of a regular thing. Whereas today, I'm not saying they don't exist, but they're just not as not as visible or as like loud, in the community as they used to be. So because of those reasons, I would say that's why it's not, it's not as strong as what it probably can be.
Gotcha. And we'll open up the chat really quick. Me like fairly early. Fat boy, I see you said we got your blood pressure rising. As in Don P, that's not Don P, that's Down B, but shout out Don P though. We ain't seen him in a second. That was the homie. But saying all that to say, or not even saying all that to say, I think I had another question to what you was asking. So according to what you were saying, would you say that the BLM debacle in your mind had an impact on what you feel is a dwindling Black culture?
In terms of
like cultural leverage.
In terms of leverage, yeah. Like in terms of leverage, it doesn't help. Like it doesn't help these movements with their credibility in terms of giving them benefit of the doubt. It's like now it's like it's a known thing, and it's just like, oh, is this another Black Lives Matter? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a kind of like a joke, like to where if you see something going together, it's like niggas are gonna be questioning, yo, what's happening with the money? Yo, such and such with the money. It's like it's just a thing now. With I feel like because that happened, it's just gonna make it more difficult to try and really get a grassroots thing going where it has like, genuine organic support. That's my opinion.
Okay, gotcha. And Colin, what I'll do right now is I'll drop a link. This would be for if you, because right now the panel in general kind of looks like it's sized one way. If you have a disagreement where you believe that Black cultural leverage, like we're not losing Black cultural leverage, is rising or kind of staying the same, here's the link. Call in. Let's chop it up about it. Have a fair, rounded conversation. So, okay, going to where y'all are at. I guess this would be kind of like speaking about like the decline or evolution of Black cultural influence. We'll walk it a couple different ways. So, is Black culture still setting global trends, or have other cultures taken the lead? Oh no, matter of fact, we ain't gonna get there yet. I think that's somewhere to walk to. But before we get there, I think that the elephant in the room often, and I think Fat Boy, he kind of spoke to it inside like a little bit of his immigration take as well. I think that there is a Black anxiety that exists within an adjacent form of what a lot of the quote unquote, the good old boys call the replacement theory. And the idea that as Black people are coming into being a dwindling minority, that within that, it is now pushing us into like having smaller cultural leverage, and the impact of these other quote unquote melting pot cultures are, becoming a little bit more prevalent. Do you think that us becoming a dwindling minority is a part of our cultural impact issue?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think it's like the biggest part of it. I think that comes like just from, like I said, with the with some of the stuff that's happening on the other side, like the great replacement theory. And we got some other people, like we're no longer the second largest, or we're no longer the biggest minority group, so that's obviously going to affect like our voting leverage. So I
Mhm.
think that's an obvious one, but I think it's more just the impact's bigger than how much we've lost in the voting leverage. I think with MAGA pushing a lot of the things they're pushing, the anti-cancel culture, I think that has dwindled our influence a lot more than just losing voter demographic.
Okay.
I think it's a mix because yeah, like not
Hey, Johnny,
only
your mic low. Turn it up. To that
not
part.
not
Wait, is
only
that it?
are we what's the word, like losing majority of being the top minority, the way that they've also reclassified minorities by making you identify Hispanic versus non-Hispanic before checking your race also uh will only help marginalize our people even further behind other groups. And then on top of that, I feel like the intersectionality stuff of, LGBTQ, feminism, those things, these movements are also impacting or watering down, I think, the Black cultural impact, because a lot of the Black cultural resources are getting reallocated to these other movements.
Okay. All right. So we do have two of our guys. They've joined in. We got Fat Boy. We have Old Man. Fat Boy, talk to us, brother.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so how how we losing cultural leverage? How y'all? I'm confused as hell as to why y'all say that.
Well, I think so. Maybe it'd be easier. So I think Johnny and G kind of like they're talking through what they feel. Why do you like? So do you feel that Black people right now cultural leverage is at a
You know,
high? It's at like it's at a standstill or it's losing, and then why?
I used to think that I would have thought this maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, but I thank God for TikTok, Twitter, all these little places. Every day is thousands of videos being put out of folks begging us for something. They begging us for our support for something, whether it's Palestine, Israel, immigration, LGBT. How are we losing cultural leverage when everybody looking at us, waiting to see what we gonna do? What side of the fence we on?
G, you want to answer or you
So
want me to answer?
I would say, okay, but we didn't lose our own leverage to get any like hate crime bill passed as it relates to Black people and police killing us when we had that leverage. So like what they need from us exactly.
So what you just did was you went around what I said to talk about what you want to talk about.
Okay. How did I do that?
Like you didn't even you literally didn't address what I said. You just bringing up what you want to bring up. Address what I said, my nigga.
I got it. I
How
got it.
how are we losing cultural leverage when
Because
every
I just
day
but
somebody crying, begging us for something? When
well,
what time
what are they
look like
begging us for, Fat Boy? What are they begging us for?
huh?
What are
They
they begging us
every
for?
you so you don't got TikTok, Twitter, all these other. You don't have all these apps.
I just said you made a claim they begging us. I'm asking
I
for
I
clarity. What are they begging us
I
for?
just told.
Simple
I
simple
literally
question.
just told you.
What
They
they want?
literally looking to us to support them on everything that they doing.
So they
It
just
don't
want
matter
moral
what it is.
support.
Palestine, them niggas talking shit. Israel, they talking shit. especially the immigrants, they going crazy. Every day it's 1,000 immigrants making videos
Hey, but
talking
Fat
about
Boy.
black people this, black people that.
Hey.
Like, and when they say black, they talking about us. They ain't talking about all the rest of the black people. They talking about us.
I think where we're losing it is like, I mean, of course we got people still like, you know, asking us for stuff. I mean, we got we got Chinese people in the hood still, you know, taking our dollars out the hood, asking
Well,
for our
that's
business.
exploitation.
And
But what I'm
but I'm
saying
saying
is,
just because they're asking us for support, don't mean like we have a
you,
leverage.
but you,
Because
y'all,
like think about like
cultural leverage here though.
but like the people who run the country right now, MAGA, they ain't asking us for shit. They stomping on
Huh?
everything that
You
we
Like,
literally
built.
got the
what's the
president.
leverage?
You literally
They-
hold on.
They're getting rid of
You
They're
literally
getting rid of
hold
DEI.
on, Johnny.
How is that leverage?
Hold on, Johnny
Like, we-
Tsunami. We literally got the president. We literally got the president acknowledging that we built the country. Like, what are you talking about?
That's not
Hey,
begging.
I'ma tell you,
That's a fact.
We literally
That's
got
not begging.
Mr. Orange.
How is
We
that
literally
leverage?
got Mr. Orange acknowledging that we built the country.
But that's not. He's still not
Not
begging
to
us for
mention,
nothing.
hold on.
Hold up. Speaking of TikTok, the last time I was on TikTok, I seen this nigga Fat Boy being mad light skin on that joint. When I was scrolling, I was on my TikTok. I was on my TikTok. I seen a random joint pop up on my screen on everything. And this nigga was so in the camera. I ain't never seen Fat Boy with this sort of aura before. I'm not gonna lie to you. He had the effects going.
Hey, no, listen. I ain't gonna lie. Me and Fat Boy follow each other on Instagram. Me and Fat Boy follow each other on Instagram. So I know exactly what you're talking about because I think in the Instagram story, he was like, Ludacris TikTok don't know how to work it. So but everything is the look off and he rubbing his.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
angles.
So this what
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but
this what you niggas doing. See this what you niggas doing. This what you niggas doing. I'm trying to have constructive.
Fat Boy might be the light skinned, brown skinned fat nigga we know.
And this what you niggas doing, man.
But no, Fat Boy.
I tell you about niggas. Niggas ain't.
Hey, backstage, we gonna get to y'all.
You know what? This what Tyler Perry was just talking about.
Oh man,
we participating in the nigga net. But all right, so Fat Boy, really quickly. I guess I'll ask you a couple questions to go down the line of what you was asking. So you said that every time that you you hop on algorithms, you see Palestinians or Hispanics or Asians or whoever, and they're asking for black acceptance or black people to join their cause of some sort. Right.
I just picked. Y'all see, I just picked up TikTok. I just picked this shit up.
Okay. I'm telling you. All right. So I guess there's a bunch of different ways to attack this, but I'll start at this. Do you think that they're asking black people at a majority or America? Like if we just say Palestine, let's just silo Palestine. Do they care what black people are doing and saying or what America is doing and saying? And is the majority of any of the Instagrams, the TikToks, and all those shits, are those going towards like America, look what these Israelis are doing? Or is it like black America, look at what they're doing to us?
They literally say black Americans.
Okay, and you're saying that you believe that that's the majority?
They literally say black Americans or FBAs and all this type of shit. They literally name drop us like that.
No, I'm not denouncing that anybody is saying it. So like I can understand that there's probably some people there. I'm asking, do you think that is a majority?
Man, if you go on any one of these things and put in
Fat Boy, right now you're doing the thing you just told G that he was doing. You about to answer it how you want to answer it.
Because why would I be answering for America?
I'm not asking you to answer for America. I said, do you think that the majority of them are asking for Americans or black Americans, or like if they want to specify specifically FBA? Do you think that the majority of when they're asking for support or help or reprieve, that they're asking for that for America or like specifically black America? Is it majority, minority?
Well, when you kicking and screaming, and you don't give a damn who help your ass, but these folks literally are saying our name type shit. Like They literally saying all now. Y'all literally can look. Y'all got devices in y'all hand. Y'all
No,
literally can look this
I
shit up.
get it. You know you still didn't answer the question, so I
did
can't build
answer
on
your
it.
question.
Do you think the majority or minority?
It's a majority.
Okay, all right. So then we have like a principal disagreement. Like I think that it's a hyper minority of Palestinians that think or speak to or talk to Black Americans, and I think that they're making like an appeal out of like some version of empathy that they may think of something like maybe Black people could help, but I think that that's a hyper minority. I think that typically they're appealing to America. From what I've seen, like I personally don't really see a lot. I've seen like some very like niche, like maybe one or two versions of like content of somebody saying Black Americans, you should also be siding with Palestine as well and go against Israel and the American government. And that's like that's a minority appeal in general, but the majority of what I see is them playing the empathy card to America in general, whether it's like against Israel and like like them controlling America, or how in general that this is an unmoral war inside their behalf, XYZ, or to Donald Trump specifically, and like the Netanyahu shit and all of that. But I don't really personally see a lot inside my algorithm. Maybe G can speak to his algorithm, but like I may have one time out of like hundreds that I've seen an appeal to like Black Americans, but I specifically can't say that I've seen a lot.
Well,
G?
my algorithm
Okay.
is new because I just got on the apps. I'm old nigga as hell. That's why y'all see me looking.
Nah, but you a warrior.
Trying to see how to work this shit. I'm new as hell to this shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna have to tell them that they lying. You gonna have to tell Twitter, TikTok, and all this other shit that
the
they
thing
lying.
about man,
you literally hold on. You literally got Mexicans talking about literally making videos either on both sides of the issue. Either they mad at us for not helping them, or they trying to understand. Well, I get it now, Black people, and woo this and that. This is literally on. You can literally go on Twitter, TikTok, any of these apps. They of course they gonna say America, but a large number of these people are literally saying our names directly.
But can I ask? Okay, they're saying our names and asking for what?
Huh?
Support, moral support, right?
Yes.
So what we gonna leverage that moral support and do?
Likes and follows.
What do you mean? You do realize if we supported them, they wouldn't even be in this predicament, right?
What who? Palestine?
Yeah, that's another principle. Like
you think Palestine would be safe if niggas was
I ain't talking about Palestine. We got 10 different people.
You brought up Palestine though.
Palestine is one of them. I'm talking about, but when I say that, I'm talking about immigration. With that, when I just made that statement right there.
Gotcha. Hey, Fat Boy, we gonna keep everybody up. I think it'll make for like a fun conversation. Really quickly, we're gonna get to the super chat, and then we got old man, we got Quincy, we got Unc in the building as well. So I'll let everybody kind of give their piece on this introductory thing, and then we'll open it up for more conversation. But shout out Ron Dwan. He said, "How another group gonna look to us for help when we can't help ourselves? Niggas just be saying anything."
It's funny. It's Q. It's mad funny how you can read the comments like this clearly and fluently. Fluently. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get my ass off your stage. I'm gonna get my ass off your stage.
All right. Shout out, Fat Boy. We love Fat Boy.
Hey, I'm all right, y'all niggas, man.
All right, old man, talk to us, brother.
Yeah, so the leverage has not been lost. Our cultural leverage is as powerful as it's always been. The problem is the thing that makes it look like it's not as impactful as it has been is because of technology, because it allows people that are not of our lineage or our breed to imitate us quicker, faster, and we're giving away our gifts for free online. Right. Okay. So before all this technology, nobody knew what we were doing behind the scenes, how we talked really amongst each other. And then we come out with a banging project and they just eating it all up. But now they see the whole process. Now they're imitating the process, how we do it, how we talk to each other behind the scenes, using our lingo, giving African tutorials to other Africans on how we speak and what this vernacular means and stuff. But they still don't have the depth of our history, our culture. They just know the outside, the performance side of it, but they don't know the breakdown in the heart of it. I'll start there.
Okay, but I guess to an extent, what you explained was the losing of Black cultural leverage, though, right? Being the fact that it's able to be mimicked and exploited through the algorithm.
It's not lost because they're copying. They can't. If you can't create it, that's why, like you said before, or somebody said before, everyone wants a piece. Think. If we think of ourselves as, last time I talked on this program, I talked about how we do everything as a group, more or less, right? So if we think of ourselves as like insects, what insect would we be? We would be bees, right? We are the ones who create the honey. Everybody wants a little bit of that honey. What do they do? When you harvest the bees, you just take a little honey, take this, take that, leave enough for them to keep creating, but you take. So that's what we are to me. That's who we are. We are the bees of the world.
So I think there's a difference between cultural influence versus cultural leverage in this. Like, I think we are as influential as ever, but how are we leveraging the culture to our advantage? Like that, what you're speaking to me more so sounds like influence, not leverage.
Ain't no other insect can create honey.
But like, honey ain't leverage though.
Again, that's influence.
Because the bee is still influenced by the beekeeper. The beekeeper.
What is leverage to you guys? Then?
What's the definition?
What can you get in return for your honey? Especially if people are knocking it off, trying to make their own version of it. You got a bootleg market for it. Like that, when there's a bootleg market for what you offer, like when you got your brand and then Amazon go make a knockoff, it don't make your value go up. You lose leverage at that point once you start getting knocked off. So it's like we make money, I agree, but how are we leveraging?
We're not losing cultural leverage. We still have all the cultural leverage. Everyone is still copying us. The minute they stop copying us, that's when we lose leverage.
I think we just saying different.
But if they're allowed to copy us and without like copyright
infringement, always copied us.
The thing is, we don't have the leverage. If they can copy us without punishment and without like doing it, what leverage do we have to even stop?
Since anyone that's came to this land, the Americas, that's what they've done. We've produced, they've imitated, copied, and took. So if we don't have leverage now, we didn't have leverage then. You get
real quick, before you go, let me get Quincy to hop in real quick. He been waiting for a quick second. Quincy, talk to us, brother.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same lines with my man who was just talking. One thing related to this tonight and last week nobody mentioned was that a lot of the immigrants that came in the last like 10 years go to sanctuary cities, and 70% of the sanctuary cities are Black predominantly cities. So if most of them move to Black cities and they get their population up, then that's going to affect the percentage of population Black people have, which will in fact affect our leverage and affect our voting power. So that is a real thing that's happening as far as like losing leverage, political leverage. One other thing too, as far as leverage go, influence and leverage. Black Americans and Native Americans are the only people in America that America kind of quote unquote owes. You know, like I know they get down and do whatever to everybody else, but as far as the people on this land, we the only ones that kind of have like we could say y'all owe this to us, and they know they do. Now they go pussyfoot around and make every excuse in the world, but they know they do, and they got to beat around the bush to avoid it. We the only group. Now that is for a limited time only, because I said it a long time ago on y'all show that the younger generation, which is filled with people from around the world, they gonna feel like they don't owe us shit. So if we don't get it in the next 10 or 15 years, I don't know if we'll ever get it. I made a couple notes, but I just say this: the guy with the honey example, right? And we talk about everybody copying us and all of that. I know we don't want to get into it too much, but I believe that's why the delineation movement gets so much pushback, because people have been able to just dip in and out, grab what they want to grab, copy us, do whatever they want to do with Black American culture and everything. And for the most part, we ain't really say nothing. I mean, we'll call out a white boy here or there, but for the most part, we ain't really say too much, right? But now folks are jumping up and saying, "Nah, that's our shit. Y'all copying ours. Where's your culture at? Yeah, like the Latinos, y'all don't even say essay no more. Y'all, where y'all culture at? Everybody want to say the N word now." And so I think like, dude,
they say wait. They say Kayanda wait.
That's
Yo,
American
nah,
nigga.
man.
That's American
Cali, they
nigga.
think they
I've
still
been telling
heavy. I
y'all
think they
about the
still got it
American
heavy in
nigga.
Cali. That's
dude,
hilarious.
American
They
nigga.
don't want to say.
they'll
American
I think
nigga.
they don't want to say essay no more.
yeah, they'll say essay, they'll say
Sup
home.
Holmes?
Yeah, you
Yo,
remember in the 90s? Remember in the 90s when they had all those
Sup
words,
Holmes?
right? They don't even say that no more.
oh
So
shit.
so I think what's happening to another comparison, it's kind of like, say if Beyonce was letting the whole group Destiny's Child get the credit for stuff, right? And she ain't say nothing. She was just being Beyonce, but when it came time for praise and credit, she was giving it to the whole group of Destiny's Child. And then the members started getting too big in their britches. They started talking shit a little bit. Then Beyonce got to stand her ass up and let these bitches know what it is, right? But it's to the group, it's to the group's benefit to really shut up right quick and let and either ride it with Beyonce, or Beyonce go step up and leave your ass hanging. And I think that's what's ultimately happening is Black Americans are standing up, and everybody pushing back, because ultimately they know, like old boy said, they've been feeding off of us. Everybody copy us, and like I said, politically, or even if it come to influence, like everybody kind of need Black Americans, because Latinos don't have any leverage in America like that. And even though they the second largest population, they still don't have as much influence as we do. They still need us to speak up to get stuff done. So, but that's
Hmm.
limited time only, because the clock ticking on that. So
Gotcha. Let me
Nobody
shout
wanna
out
be
Ron. Hold on. Super chat has came through. Shout out Ron Dwan. Again, the homie. Pull up, bro. Again, you active. I
we ain't
promise
talking about them today.
Johnny not gonna Johnny ain't gonna take us down that route this week. But nonetheless, he said we influence entertainment. That's it. We have no power or leverage. We just don't want to admit it. I'll toss it to you.
I admit it, Ron.
Yo, I agree with Ron. We have a strong influence on entertainment, but I wrote some shit down. So I don't believe that.
Notepad.
You know what I'm saying? We can ever, what I'm saying,
Hey,
not
I
have.
just got to stop this, man. The reason why we're able to even do what we're doing right now is because a Black woman created the technology for us to do this. It's called voice over IP. That's why Zoom exists. That's why any of this exists.
Excuse
Y'all
me.
got to stop limiting us. We
No,
have
oh man,
I'm
I
not
think
being
that like
our creative.
everybody would agree
leverage.
to the exact point that you're making.
so this is
In which like I think the conversation is molding itself to a different spot. But yes, if we're talking about the inventions of like Black women at that, but Black people in general and what Black people have done throughout the course of America, I don't think anybody inside this on this panel would like argue with you that our impact on American culture is second to none. And so like we got to make sure that we're having the conversation in a nuanced way.
And
But I'm gonna throw it back
leverage
to
is the key
real
word
quick.
too. Leverage is the key word
I never
too.
did get to complete my example. I
well.
just got
Can I
to
can I at least get mine before you
So
come back?
oh man, I'm gonna throw to you after Unc go. Go ahead, Unc.
All right, this is what I'm saying. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? We are ever. It's not like we can't ever. You know what I'm saying? Not have cultural leverage because look at us. You know what I'm saying? What's old to us is always new to somebody else. It always is. In Japan right now, somebody over there getting their hair curled to be nappy. You understand what I'm saying? If that's not cultural influence on a person, you telling me you getting your whole new hair texture. And everybody look down to us for having nappy hair, but they over there getting their hair nappy and get it cornrowed and get afros and all this shit. And hold up. On top of that, you know what I'm saying? The top of the thing and the top of the line is this right here with the LGBTQ community. Now, everybody knows that this right here, all of them act like black men and black women. Now, who the hell? If you don't goddamn see they don't act like black men and black women, how did that? We run the world. If no matter what, you got a Chinese gay motherfucker act like he goddamn a black woman. You gotta goddamn.
We can't go that. We can't go that far. We can't go that far.
No, but I'm just being honest with you, boys and
I know I got it. What I'm saying is like the impersonation. We don't want to do the impersonation.
Oh, no impersonation.
We ain't got that kind of leverage.
But what I'm saying to y'all is this right here. You can have no matter where you go, you're gonna find out that the gay people act like a black or this black person, a black woman or a black man. All of the cultures. All of them.
Right. But I will say that, and I want to go to not Ron Dwan. Ron Dwan's here, so we'll go to him after we go to old man. But what you're talking about is influence. No. Like, I think we agree, and this is where. So you gotta listen. You gotta listen. Listen for a second. What you're talking about is cultural influence, which is different than leverage. And
political, do they not have political leverage?
When you say they, who you talking
about? Community.
Do you think that the LGBTQ community cares about black people?
No, they just want to be like us.
Right. Like that's where the leverage conversation comes in. At.
No, they do. They needed us for leverage. That's the whole.
I think that if you talk to any gay black person, they all say that the black people in the community get treated the worst.
It doesn't matter, but we're talking about in reality. We've always been in reality. We've always been treated the worst. But for the outside world, they have to unite with the black people. Every group has always had to unite. That's why you have this BIPOC, all these people of color, all this, because they have to have us a part of the group. If we're not a part of the group, then they don't have any leverage. That's why we have all the leverage. We've always had all the leverage. Every group has to attach to us, whether they're white, brown, Asian, doesn't matter. They attach to us. You think it's not, but that's what people of color means.
They use us.
They use us.
They use us.
End goal, but they don't.
Power. We don't have no pure power
because we have the leverage to make.
We have no pure power.
We can't claim to have leverage if we don't exercise it.
That's on us. That's on us.
Okay, but that's a lack of leverage. If you can't exercise it, then you don't have it.
We don't have pure power.
You say you got muscles, you don't flex.
No, just because you have muscles don't mean you have strength. That's what that means.
Real quick, I do believe that we do have the leverage and we do have the power, and that is why everybody wants to connect with us. And a guy mentioned it last week. The problem is our leadership. They use our history, our leverage, our legacy with this country to benefit everybody else. Somebody mentioned that last week.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, there we go. So we do have it, but it's like when we get leaders, the quote unquote leaders that we do have, dude, they get up there and they sell us out every time. So that's really the problem.
And then just to finish my point, is really quick with the honey thing. Most of the honey and syrup and all that stuff we eat isn't the real authentic thing. But because we don't even get to taste what honey is, we think syrup and honey is real. So the thing that we can do to even make our leverage stronger or to keep going is to keep being us, keep creating, keep what we were put on this earth to do. The minute we stop and give up, then that's when we would lose leverage.
Gotcha. Ron Dwan, welcome to the show. Talk to us, brother.
What's happening again? Speaking of the homie's point about the honey, man, like you said, most of the honey we eat ain't even real this day, right? And guess what? Nobody cares because somebody figured out a way to put that sauce in a way to distribute it to a bigger place where nobody cares where it originated from. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to use your analogy, they're doing the same thing to us now, bro. Like, so like I think people are getting caught up on the nuance of leverage and influence. Like, it's not the same thing, bro. We don't have the leverage. If we had leverage, we'd fix our own problems. You know what I'm saying? We come up here week after week and talk about the issues that we have and how do we fix that? How do we represent? Do we elect people? You know what I'm saying? Is it group economics? Is all of these things that if we really had leverage and power, we wouldn't even be having those discussions. We'd be on another level of discussions of what to do with the power. Like, so it's just kind of like disingenuous. I know it hurts our feelings sometimes to realize that we ain't really who we, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody said in the comments, main character syndrome. Like, that's what it is, bro. We are a minority group. Let's say it, minority group, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta really like be honest with ourselves. We don't have power, bro. We second-class citizens in our own country, bro. Like, so we got to figure out that part first. Be honest with ourselves, and once you honest, you can move forward with a path. But if you're not even really aware of where you at and where you stand, you ain't never gonna be able to get out of that space.
Well, my man just
all right,
said.
so I will say that, and man, before you go, because I know hold on, oh man, I'm going right to you. Right now it is what time is it? It's 11:11. Shout out 11:11. Somebody make a wish. But at 11:15, we're gonna go to the next question. I know this is about to explode. Oh man, go ahead.
There's nothing minor about us. We are the largest ethnic group, one of the largest ethnic groups in the United States of America. Stop calling yourself a minority. There's nothing minor about you.
If that make you feel good, game, but like
you thinking about numbers, you thinking about you see white people, and you think they all are the same ethnicity. They're all different. They all think different. That's why our vote matters, because we think as a group, bruh. That's why they're always trying to get us, because they know if you get the black community, you're gonna have a lump sum of people that think one way and will fight for you to death to get their to whatever you're fighting for. So you think it's me trying to feel good or not? No, bro.
We fight to death for what? For us. We can't even fix us, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got to stop being
nobody can fix themselves. What person or human beings on this world has fixed themselves or are perfect? Nobody.
Wait, what?
So what's the solution?
Everybody needs to fix.
By the way, G hop in real quick.
He just confused me there. I'm like, so if nobody can fix themselves, then like, so we don't need fixing. Like, I don't know.
I'm saying, name me one group that is fixed.
I don't know what that has to do with the conversation.
No, I'm answering his question. He said we can't even fix ourselves, like we're the only ones. No one can fix themselves.
I don't care about the other groups. That's what I'm saying. Y'all always get up here and cry.
But don't present us as like we're the only ones. That's what I'm saying. You're presenting to the world like black people are the only ones that have a problem, and everybody got a fucking problem. I don't care
about nobody else.
All right, so hey, really quick, let me hop in really quick and see if we can kind of like find some middle. I don't even know if I'm advocating for middle ground, but so man, I imagine when you're saying need to fix themselves, this would be speaking about minorities becoming or like you wouldn't be talking about the dominant society. By them, that would be the metric of fixed, correct? Just so I understand. Like, so right now you wouldn't be in America saying like white people need to fix themselves when it comes down to the hierarchy of America. Correct.
White people need the most fixing. They've done the most damage to everybody.
All right, but right now you're making a moral claim. Like, I think that inside
they haven't done the most things to everything, to everybody. The worst things.
No, all right, but again, like you're having a conversation inside a different space than where like the leverage conversation is at. I agree. So if you're oh man, to answer your question directly, if you're saying have white people in America done the most destruction? Yes. You probably can make that exact same claim across the world. Have white people across the world done the most destruction? Yes. I think that's a different statement than what we're talking about when we're saying
they need the most fixing?
Well, but culturally? But right now we're not having a moral conversation. Like the basis of our conversation isn't based on morality, is based on leverage. And so now leverage is speaking about like your
minorities and stuff. He's not talking about leverage.
But I imagine what he's speaking about is the ability as whatever group you are to yield power to get things done. And so right now, as a like if we use white people in America, you can say that as a group, them if you want to like even isolate MAGA as a like specific, like they've been able to yield power to do things that they've wanted to happen. So they said that they wanted to say, and they wanted to repeal a bunch of censorship. They got that done. They said that I don't like we don't want affirmative action at our universities. They got that done. They said we don't want DEI inside our workplace. They got that done. And so like these are like things in which like this group was able to leverage power to get things done. And so like when we're speaking about like fixing and being able to do that, again, like if we're giving like examples in America, I imagine someone might throw out like the idea of not a well, no, we ain't gonna go that route. We'll go stop Asian hate during like the whole COVID thing, where they had leverage to pass a thing to be able to get legislation passed to get it done.
The Asian island American Pacific community.
It was not MAGA. So think about it. You talk about affirmative action. It wasn't the white person that got it changed. It was the Asian community. So they leveraged.
No. The Asians loved affirmative action.
No,
you're talking about two different points.
You gotta look at
So oh man, I understand what you're saying. So what you're saying is that like there was a bunch of Asians at Harvard in which they were campaigning also. Like the real push was with white people though.
The lawsuit came from an Asian woman. She was hired by a white lawyer. That white lawyer used the Asian community to get rid of affirmative action because they couldn't get rid of it themselves. The leverage came from the Asian community, which
right. So listen, like, and my thing is that like we can use both examples to keep proving the same point though. So like right there is an example of Asian people using leverage and white people using Asians as leverage. So like both of those groups are leveraging each other to get a thing done.
Exactly what I said in the first point.
Well, all right. So I guess that the main thing that I'm saying is that generally speaking, when we're speaking about leverage, it's the idea of being able to use your cultural influence and or power to get legislation and things passed that are going to be beneficial for your group explicitly.
I agree. We have not used our leverage for our own benefit.
Right. But you also said that who does in America, and we just ran down some examples of people that have.
I mean, not who does leverage. That was who does when he was talking about.
Oh my bad. You said who needs fixing or something like that. I guess that's a bad framing.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah. Nonetheless, fellas, shout out to the panel. Looks like we got a decent panel to kind of continue down the line of the conversation. I'll ask a few more questions and then we'll get into like some solution-based-esque things. But if we're staying on the line of exactly where we're at, is Black America's influence on global culture slowing down, evolving, or simply being overshadowed by other cultures?
I think this is where it goes to the points that were being made earlier in that from an influence standpoint, you could make an argument that the influence is just as prevalent and strong as it's ever. Way that people mimic how we speak, to the way that people mimic how we dress, the music, all the above. Like the cultural influence of Black folks throughout the world, I think, is as clear as it's ever been. So I wouldn't disagree with that statement.
And then let me ask you this, and this is kind of the follow up for everybody: does the influence matter if you can't control it?
I think it does. That's what we're saying. Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't matter at all if you can't control it, because anything that you can't control can get out of hand. And once something that you can't control gets out of hand, and once it get out of your control, it's going to become a movement on somebody else's level. And if you never control it, it means you just started something, you started a fire that you walked away from, that will turn into a big explode, can turn into an explosion. And you had nothing to do with it, but they'll put it on you. They will put it on you for you starting it. but they won't say anything about that you were just the one that just started the spark. You started the spark that caused this whole forest fire. And you had nothing to do with it. You just sparking your own thing, and somebody else mimicked your spark and said that you did it first. So now you got blamed for it. And that's what we get blamed for, things that we had nothing to do with, even though people follow our culture trends.
Gotcha.
What's the
Johnny, it looked like you wanted to hop in.
yeah? Can you repeat the question? The first question.
Damn, Johnny, I was kind of freestyling that a little bit.
You said that has our
He was
global
moving
culture.
leverage to influence, something like
Yeah,
that.
but you were
yeah.
talking about like outside of just like politics, but just culture.
Oh yeah. All right. So generally speaking, the idea was that does black people still control and or influence global culture across the board? And then the follow up to that question is does influence matter if you don't control it?
Well, I mean, I think like globally, I think FBA influence has even been waning. Like even if you look at music, like you go to Africa, they got Afro beats, and like they, of course, they've taken a lot from us, but like we.
You saying Drake ain't he ain't trying to be black no more? He went to Caribbean.
Burna Boy was
Africa.
sampling Tony Braxton.
He went to Mexico,
off, right?
I'm saying,
he went to Britain.
I'm saying we have an influence on them, but as far as like globally, like think about how much more Afro beats is being played over here.
But listen, that Afrobeat, but
Afrobeat is created here.
Afrobeats started. Listen to Afrobeats, and you listen to what they're doing. They're doing auto tunes that was started here. Afrobeats whole thing, everything that starts here with us, and everybody is influenced
when you
by
hear
us.
Tyler or
yeah, I don't really hear like
that's not
auto-tune.
American culture. That's not our culture, and but it's
You
supposed to be
don't
played
hear the
globally
auto-tune?
around the world.
Not when I hear Shorty. What's Shorty?
I
Not
don't think
Tyler.
you got a lot of American artists
Tim's,
trying to make Afro beats, but there are a lot of Africans who try to rap like us.
For sure.
That's more the point. Like, ain't nobody's growing up trying to be Burna Boy right now.
Nobody.
No, they are. They're definitely trying to be Burna Boy.
Yeah,
but that's something different though.
In America,
everybody wants to.
Yeah,
be us.
like there's mad people that like, Afro
make
beats.
it like
It's his own thing, but I don't think like if we're comparing them, rap is still like king. I don't think that we have to like sparse the thing to make it like.
And I'm not saying that, but I think it has taken a little bit of our influence.
All
I think
Afro.
when you hear that music, like it's even influenced, like Chris Brown is doing, like an Afro beats type.
Afro
music.
beats is a hybrid of
that's an
R&B and
influence.
dance that came from here. And the guy who created Afro beats, he was here when he created it. He was influenced by us.
Yeah, Fela Kuti.
Well, I didn't know that. So
I actually don't even disagree with that. I think that you can clearly hear. Shout out Riz. You can clearly hear our aesthetics in it. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But saying that people don't want to sound like Tim's, Tyler, or Burna Boy,
yeah, or to say that they don't have global influence and it hasn't affected.
Who's mimicking their styles? Who's mimic I just
mad independent. Like, to be honest, you want to know who every American R&B artist want to sound like? All the fucking British R&B artists. Like to be honest, like if we're honestly speaking. Like R&B in America sounds like British R&B.
Because the British sound like old school black R&B. So you can't say that we sound like British because the British sound like us.
Yeah, stop.
There's a very specific niche to it, and like what they're doing sonically.
They be singing over there. They be singing.
All I'm saying is that what they're doing sonically, but like right now we're trying to put like the chicken and egg thing. Like, does black people have influence overall on the sound of R&B? Obviously, like so we wouldn't use that. But so now if we're talking about like how the introduction of like the 808s
now.
All right, can I get to
you? I'll get to you in a second. Well, I'm gonna get to you next, but if we're talking about like if we take the British R&B specifically, right? How like the deep sound when you talk about just tonality. If you talk about how they're infusing like a little bit of the electronic sound with the R&B and then the way that they run there, and then not even the run. If you listen to like we'll take SZA for example, how she pronounces her words is specifically how British women and British black R&B artists speak inside, like how they speak the like the cadence of the words. This is exactly influenced by them. Like there's like very specific nuances when you go into like who's biting from who, of course it all comes from America. So we wouldn't never say that, but like specifically like the genre that they produce, yeah, it's hard to say.
Everybody
Well, you
bites from
say, well,
everybody,
you
man.
saying what
All,
you're saying,
Yeah.
right?
these
You
black
saying
people,
what
you
you're
putting
saying
on
with that,
Prada
right?
and Gucci
But listen,
and
but
Versace. Do you want to
listen.
be Italian and French? Like, come on, everybody bites from everybody. That's what entertainment is.
There
You
you,
know what I'm saying? We got to
thank you,
get off of
thank
this that we the
you.
only ones that got sauce, bro.
Mhm.
Dude, you
Hey,
had you
Ron,
had
are you
you
really a
Even
part of a we?
even
Where you from?
think
Ron
about
got
the
low
drill music that
self-esteem,
come out of
bro.
London and how
Where
much
you
it's
from,
influenced
Ron?
our sound.
You
Nigga,
keep
I'm from
saying we.
everywhere. Am I part of what?
Right here. You
What?
might,
Where is your family ancestry from? What country?
Oh Lord, we do.
Here we go.
Nigga,
Here we go. Put him in
my
there.
family is from Eastern North Carolina. That I could trace it back to the 1700s. You know what I'm saying? When they was bought off that ship, gang. And the other half
Okay,
of
so
my
that's
family is
one
from
side.
Don't
What's
pull
the
his
other
Jamaica.
side of
50
your
So I
card.
family?
don't really
Don't
give a
pull his
fuck
There
on
you
what
go.
you talking about.
What's
Like,
the other side of
talk
your
with some
family?
logic, bro.
What's the other side
Everybody,
of
All
your
right,
everybody
family?
bites from everybody.
You don't
listen.
even
Y'all
know.
Look,
niggas
You
be
don't
on this
even
we
whole
know
ain't gonna go
what
down
FBA,
like
black
that.
is.
But
Pull
What's the
this
the
50
crazy,
solution,
the
What's
gang?
the
crazy
other side of your
rabbit hole,
family?
Unc. I think you had something. And then after Unc, Alphonse, you've not Alphonse, Al Morris. You've hopped in, so we'll talk, brother.
What,
Unc, I
what,
think you want to hop in.
what you were saying earlier, yeah, I understand that for now or whatever, as far as in the way they sounding right now, or this, that, whatever. But why don't, is you saying like far as in, it sounds good what you're saying as far as in, oh, they sound, the English people sound like this. Why don't they sound like English people? Why is it that
Exactly.
they sound
Well,
like
no, like
American?
English
No, no,
R&B
let me finish
sounds like
talking.
English
Let me
people.
finish
Like
talking because I
The
let you
Beatles
finish
sounded
talking.
American when
Let
they
me
sing,
finish.
bro. Learn
Let
this
no,
me
no,
music.
finish
no.
talking.
I get
Let
you,
me
Unc. All I'm
talk.
saying is that
I
like
didn't
SZA sounds like a,
nobody
a, a
while they was
British
talking.
R&B
I let
person.
And
everybody.
LMA
I
sound
let
like a
everybody finish.
American R&B
Hey,
person.
there you go. There
Mhm.
we go. Y'all, I let everybody talk, but goddamn, while I'm talking, goddamn, everybody want to talk. Stop being fucking disrespectful. What I'm saying to y'all is this right here. When why they don't sound like that? You seen the Beatles sound? The Beatles sound like English people. That was why they sound. That was their niche. That's why they was so. That's what made them. It was that, and the point of them doing that, they sound different, and they also had lyrics that was completely different. And the lyrics that they had were lyrics that people over here weren't writing about. They were writing
What was
about
the
things that
accents of the music? What was the accents of the Beatles music?
the accent.
What was the accent that they sing in?
That's what I said. Their accent made them different.
When
SZA sings in a
R&B
British
artists
accent.
sing, whether you're across the pond or you're here, you come off kind of similar. A lot of times you can't tell the difference unless they speak in interviews.
But that's what I'm saying. Why is it that the Beatles sound British when they sang? The
No, they
Beatles
sound British when
sound
they talk.
British. Yes, they did. They sound British when they talk. But when they sang, they sound British as well. That's what that thing was. They sang in a British tone, and they also spoke in a British tone. SZA, I don't know what the hell SZA sound like. I
You
don't
sound
like
like
the
them,
shit. She
but
sounds
it's
weird to
influenced
me.
by UK.
It might be influenced by the UK, but it sounds like shit to me. Y'all
That's a
might like
different.
it,
Like,
but
like
I
you were
don't like
like
it.
you're talking about like if you like it or not. That's different.
No, but I'm just saying, and I don't see her being like right now with her and whatever.
That sounds like that's how the UK people sound when they
But
sing.
but
That's
but,
what that
but
shit is.
that's what I'm saying.
I've
She
never heard
she might.
anybody say this before. I have to do
This
some
isn't a
more
hot take
research.
at all. Like it's like this
All
a
I'm
very
saying
specific
to you
singing
is
sound.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that what she is doing is what she wants to do, and it might be that, and you might be correct. But at the same point, what I'm saying is that you can look at it from any point of music up until now. What you talking about? This one bitch. Excuse my language, calling her, but it's one woman who doing this music, right?
That's
This
just one example.
that might be one example. You give me another one. You can't find another one. And if this you talking about people, all English singers, all people from
Giveon.
everywhere else, when they sing, you don't hear no European accent or nothing like that. They all sound like Americans, and most of them try to sound like Black Americans.
Got you. Again, like this is like the weird thing that we're doing where I'm not saying that more of them are trying to do it. Somebody asked the question of
So
do they have influence? And I'm giving an example of multiple artists that haven't that try to sing like same difference.
You
Like if
did
you go
give
with
an
Tim's,
example of
same
multiple
difference if you
artists.
go with Tyler. If
Of
same
one
difference if you
artist.
If you go with like you go around the world, like there was what's his name? Offset was trying to make Afrobeat music for a quick second. Like pretending like this didn't happen is also disingenuous. Like this isn't to say black people aren't the majority influence though. Like these are different conversations.
You gotta look at where the Migos started from. When the Migos first started out, they came out as a gimmick group. They became a gimmick group because the Migos started because they said Migos because they was trying to sound like Mexicans. If you listen to where they sound like damn Speedy Gonzalez. And that was they flow. And that's why they was called the Migos. But once they got popular, the music industry told them to change the way they sound, and they had to sound like something different, or they couldn't. You know what I'm saying? They changed their flow a little bit, but that's what it was. That's why they called themselves the Migos, Mexicans, whatever. And you listen to their flow, but it was Speedy Gonzalez talking the way they rap.
Hey, I think SZA, usually singers, they get a lot of writers and producers, and they just have like these little sessions when they go on vacations or something, and they come up with a lot of stuff. I think a lot of the writers and producers, they typically do have like quote unquote worldly ears and listen to everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if some songs, I never heard this take before, but I don't listen to SZA like that outside of the radio. But I wouldn't be surprised if on some songs there was some influence because maybe a producer or some writer or whatever kind of heard some, electric French jazz or something along those lines and kind of want to incorporate it. So I wouldn't doubt it. But can I get back to the original question about?
Yeah, for sure.
So the original question about are Black Americans losing influence worldwide? The odd thing is like G said, I think it's actually stronger now than it was 20 years ago. And see and I say this because I kind of compare it to how, remember when New York had a chokehold on the game, and then it spread over to the West Coast, and then it spread down south, and everybody had their turn, right? But what wound up happening was when New York lost it, like when the South got it, we listened to each other, we bigged up each other. When the West got it, they listened to each other, they bigged up each other. But what's happening, I think, right now on a global stage is that they're not listening and bigging up each other. They still run into America. The equivalent of that would be if we kept running to New York and kept pretending like New York was our big brother when clearly the South was running stuff, right? So it seems like even from a mainstream perspective, I'm sure they got their own stuff we never even heard of over here. I'm sure they do. But the bigger artists, when they really want to make that jump into the mainstream, they always come running over here. They always come grabbing something from us to try to get that global appeal. And that's just in music. I mean, we ain't even gonna talk about how the whole internet talk like young black people. They use our slang.
The biggest rapper in the UK had to go toe to toe. We had to throw Joyner Lucas at this nigga respectfully. We didn't even have to really even reach deep down in our bag of like top dogs in the rap game. We put the little young pup on a top dog.
I don't know if Joyner Lucas could be considered as a young pup.
He ripped man's head off. He split it bloody back, man. I'm telling you, man.
Bloody black man.
He did it all that night.
Yeah.
He chopped me up and left him in a bloody bag.
Left him in the blender.
But like I said, that's
I think that these are different points. But I also wouldn't two things. I wouldn't say that Joyner Lucas is a young boy. Shout out to Joyner Lucas. He's actually took an L from what some people will colloquially describe as a tether. Put in the box by Joyner. By what's his name?
Tory.
Tory. Megan Thee Stallion, old BD. Well, he wasn't baby daddy, but old bait. But saying all that to say, if we talk about drill rap,
I said that earlier.
UK is the genesis of drill rap.
Not Chief Keef.
Chicago.
Again,
it's London.
No, it predates that. Like the term drill rap comes from the UK. Inside, like what the basis and like what y'all talking about sonically, like the antithesis of what drill rap came from would be the idea of like the whole little rapping the literal thing, like it's his own specific genre, and that's why like when you go through like New York drill sounds different than Florida drill, that sounds different than Chicago drill, that sounds different than Alabama drill. but they're all drill because the genre specifically denotes a direct thing, and it all comes
It
from
originated in
UK.
Chicago.
And then when you go
New
to
York
like
drill is
sonically
almost
what the sound
identical,
of
if not the
drill
exact.
is, a lot of it comes with that sliding 808 that is also the UK sound. Yeah,
It
again, like
originated in
if we
Chicago.
just
I'm doing searches. It
They
originated
used to
in
go on
Chicago.
okay,
drills in
all right. Well,
Chicago,
I
and
could
that
be
was a
wrong.
totally
I'm cool with
different
being
thing.
wrong.
Nah,
Drilling.
you're not wrong, Q. You're not wrong on that at all, Q.
I'm,
Drill comes from
that's
From my
why,
London.
that's
understanding
why
of it.
you right.
Drill comes from London, and then they got adopted by New
You
York and then
right.
Chicago.
Girl, I
I
just did a Google search. It said originated in Chicago. What you want me to do?
Yeah, Google
Not
George
the
Okay, listen,
Washington,
sound,
man. You
I'll
gotta
do so.
live this
From
life
my
sometimes.
not
understanding,
the
I could be
sound.
wrong, but from my understanding.
drill. What it is that
It says it's
I think
drill
New
essentially
York
red.
music.
drill. I think New York drill derives from UK drill, but Chicago is the foundation of the drill movement. Like with the
Yeah,
Pop Smoke and the New York
I
sound
think
and
it's two
drill, I
different
can agree
things.
that there are some similarities to the UK. I can agree, but I'm not gonna give UK credit for starting drill music.
Okay.
I strongly
Hey,
believe
hold
that's
on,
based out
hold
of
on.
Chicago.
Hey, Q, hold on. I think there's a difference because I think Chicago they used to go on drills, and that was like drilling was like their gangster like
Yeah, it's about sliding
scene.
on niggas. It's
But
about
thing
but
sliding on
but
niggas,
the
man.
drill
It's
sound,
two
the,
different
the
things.
drill
Yeah,
sound, the
yeah.
actual the sound actually came from UK.
The thing
But like
that we know that
Chicago's,
like how
they've been
Quincy was
doing
talking about
drills
with
for
the
like
808 and everything. That
for
sound, I
that
can give
came
you that
from
credit. Yeah,
UK. But
yeah.
like the thing drilling
Hmm.
and the drill culture
That's
Oh
was
yeah, yeah.
that's
Chicago.
a
Yeah.
And
Chicago thing.
maybe that's a solid middle
what
ground for us
what it
to
is
end that.
that you
Well,
had
Um,
the problem
hey
is
fellas,
that
I tried. I
I
tried.
love
I
y'all,
tried.
but
I
can I
tried.
just say
like
this
this isn't.
with the drill?
Listen, fellas, I love y'all. We got to move the
You will
conversation.
not let us complete stuff.
move it on.
Uh,
Move it on.
matter of fact, oh man, I'm gonna come to you first, and it's cool.
Oh, and we got somebody new
But we
we haven't heard from too.
oh yeah damn, we do got a couple
Yes,
people.
he has a couple
My
people.
main thing is that I don't want to get stuck here because of like the conversation isn't explicitly about what I mean doing the origin story of music per se as much as like the culture part. So really quickly, what we'll do is we'll go to Al Morris. Oh man, I got you. I promise you. When I ask the next question, I'm gonna go to you first. And then if you want to unpack where you want to go to, like that's up to you. But just to make sure that we're kind of moving the conversation forward, I want to start with well, I'm gonna go to Al Morris, kind of give a quick 1 to 2 minute of what you think, what we got right, what we got wrong, and then from there, I'll introduce a new topic that kind of moves the conversation forward. And I'll go to you first, old man. Al, talk to us, brother.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
What I wanted to speak on when he talked about the political leverage, it was as far as the political leverage. I think that because for the most part we're anchored for the most part by the life and mission of Dr. Martin Luther King, Bayard Rustin, Whitney Young Jr., and more like Thurgood Marshall. So much of that is like rooted in the liberalism or the I guess that neoliberalism of modern American culture. It's kind of almost like probably America. If America was to fall, like that would like go down with the ship. You know what I'm saying? Because of what Martin Luther King represented, in his relationship with CPUSA, with his relationship with liberalism, and with, what happened with LGBT, with liberal, the liberal value thing, the far left policies. That it's like by us being Black American, what I'm saying, it's part of that legacy. So Martin Luther King and just what he did in shaping America is just that's locked in. You know what I'm saying? And but the bad thing about that is that for the most part, quote unquote, Martin Luther King wasn't like a blackity black in that way. Like it was meant to his thing was meant to be about everybody. So it wasn't meant to just be like inclusive. It was a integrationist type of thing, and it was meant to be like for everybody and for everybody to share an American dream, for everybody to be judged by character. So it wasn't like just a thing that okay, this legacy I leave you or this cultural inheritance is just solely about you as a community, because that was the whole purpose of tearing down segregation and the whole thing of social integration and liberal egalitarianism and all the other stuff that he practiced. And then two, the second thing, when they talk about the cultural influence, I'll say for the most part, as far as our greatest cultural export, so to speak. It is the music. I've not been to a lot of countries, as a seller in a merchant seaman. I'll say the more conservative countries, they more so would deal with like black music from the 80s. Like I done got in cabs before, and the person would be older and they'd be listening to black music, like, dang, y'all listen to the OJs or y'all listening to music from the 80s, you know what I'm saying? And it'd be like black music from the 80s. So as far as music, you gonna hear like black music like everywhere. Like all the countries I done pretty much been to, I done heard like black music being played. Or I heard a dude, he was an older guy, and he liked like Marvin Gaye. And he was a Filipino, and I was like, dang, you listen to, so black music is pretty much like our number one like cultural export. I do think that since the modern black music has kind of, got to where it's kind of hip hop is kind of went, it's kind of like other things that are maybe they like the Afro beats and other things that are hip hop influenced are that maybe have a lesser like reprobated message or carnal message is kind of like have a little bit more clout, because you do hear like Afro beats and a little bit of Jamaican music here and there if it's like like that, but like for the most part, like them the top three is like Jamaicans, the Africans, and then Black America. So Black America probably being number one is like as far as the music. Now, when people try to go as far, because my problem with people, what they say, what they call stuff our culture, because like to me, when I first started traveling, I always consider like Air Force Ones like a Black American type of thing. Like that was kind of like a Black American cultural thing. Like when people talk about clothes or dress, but when you go to like Europe or when you certain places in Europe, Italy and stuff, these people Air Force One game is really harder than ours. Like with all, I mean, people like go all they put these big old fat.
Asians love some black culture, boy. I ain't gonna lie. They get all the rare ones.
Well, see, but the thing about it is that they're not necessarily copying off of us though. Like when you see certain things that we consider black culture in other places, they're not necessarily copying us with that. That's sometimes we kind of get confused. Cause I thought that like when I went to London, it was like white women with long lashes, and but that's something that you kind of would consider like ratchet black woman culture. But like that's not something they're necessarily copying on us when we talk about the clothes and the dressing. So that's something that like people kind of like have misconstrued. Like when you see like a Western attribute of culture in another place, like I've been to Nairobi, I've been like a whole other place, but it's like they're not necessarily copying off of us when they have something Western or something that we would consider.
How old?
And I get you that you actually are bringing like a different, like just an interesting perspective to the conversation.
I'm just saying, as far as my travel, like I've actually traveled and been around the world.
Back on that a little bit though, Paul.
What is that?
Yeah,
based
I would
on?
push back 100% on that too.
When you say,
like I said before,
but fellas, I understand what y'all saying. I think that where we're at is probably a place where there's like this is the jux or the jux of our debate in our conversation. But saying that to say one, Fat Boy meet Brianna meet Fat Boy. Two, I do want to move the conversation forward just a little bit. Old man has given me permission, so I'm gonna throw the comment first. But with that said, I do think that the distinction that we keep getting trapped on right now, and even when we're going into like these tangents of like whether it's like music and all these different things, it's like the idea of cultural influence and cultural leverage, in which like we are making a distinction from that. And again, I think that the majority of the panel agrees that American black culture has mass influence across the globe, and that's past, present, probably future, right? But now separating that and putting that to the side and then putting leverage into that same exact thing. Are we able to leverage? And this comes into where moving the conversation into this term that has been coined lately that speaks about soft power. And I'll use this to throw into almost the exact same question, but kind of reframing it to where we'll probably get a little bit away from like like the fashion, sports, XYZ. But there's the concept of soft power. Black people having soft power globally still hold value. And does it hold value if, again, like you don't control the influence in which you're kind of being pushed out to the world with? Kamu, we'll start with you. South Africa's own. Talk to us, brother.
How's it, fellas? Look, guys, I think the mistake you're making here is you're not putting together Black America's influence with America's white supremacy, because your power goes as far as American white supremacy goes. And now the fact is, over the last 10 years or maybe 20, America's influence globally has been on a decline. It's dwindling. There is no way that Black Americans can have influence in this world over their masters. Everything that if anything, you don't have leverage, you have a niche. So in order for your niche to go and be a thing, America has to stand. So in as far as that is concerned, Black niche, not even leverage, because that doesn't exist. Your Black niche is dwindling. I don't want to go back to music, but you see that through music. What we see now has never happened. We have had Africans, and I'm not so sure about Europeans, but we have had African musicians who used to come to America. When it comes to influence, they were never this big. The first South African to win a Grammy Award was in America, I think in the 60s. Miriam Makeba, she was married to Stokely Carmichael. Nobody really, I mean, people know about her, but she doesn't have the influence that these current generations have today. So it speaks to the level of influence that other people are bringing to Black American culture, which has never happened before. So in as far as international influence goes, your power is as relevant as white supremacy in America stands.
Hold on. I'm
It is
sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but I got to say this to you right now. Right now, you don't know what you're talking about. What you're talking about is just you being rude and being disrespectful towards Black Americans. For what reason? What have we done to you?
Come on, cool, man.
I'm sorry. So, we can't take it down that route because I don't think that he was saying anything explicitly crazy. I engage with. I would love for you to just engage with what he's saying. So what he is saying is that. Kamu, I got you. So engage with what he's asking. What he's saying is that Black.
You don't have to explain for him. He a grown ass man.
No, all I'm about to do is repeat what he asked. So all I'm about to do is repeat what he asked, and instead of like going into like the insult thing, I just engage with what he stated, and because I think he brings up a point in that I seen some head nods and some disagreements, and so like we can launch the conversation off with you where what he's stating is that like a big part of Black American influence comes from the white or just the American superpower that it is, to where it ends up kind of getting like kicked down and shoved down the world's throat. And like that is an important part. So if America's power across the board is dwindling, then Black American power across the board is dwindling. What is your thoughts on that?
Who you talking to?
Like me and you, like I'm
talking to me. You know what I'm saying? You talking to me? No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What I'm saying was all I'm saying is that what he said was disingenuous because everything that we do is what they do. We started first, they end it. You know what I mean? Or they take it and they make it like we didn't start it.
Who is they?
White America.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay. But that
You,
well,
let
still
him
my
finish
point.
talking. I'm done. Let him finish talking.
Look,
Let him finish talking. Go ahead and finish talking, brother.
yeah,
Talk.
even if you
Talk.
bring up that point, but my point still stands though. If you say you're influencing them, it doesn't matter. Their power is dwindling, which is to say that either way, your global dominance and your global influence is on a decline because their power is dwindling, and you claim to be influencing them.
Come on. Can I ask you this right here? I'm just talking to you. Right here. One on one. Everything that
Go
you
ahead.
want, everything, no, I'm saying everything that you want, everything that you're doing right now. The way that y'all act, the way that y'all want to be, and the people that y'all want to be us. Y'all
Not
want to be
anymore.
us. Yes, you do. Yes, you
Not
do.
anymore.
Yes, you do. Else you will be on an African show. But every week you come on this Black American show and talk about what you think about, but you want to act like you want to be one of us. You
No,
do.
no, no.
True. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Tell the truth. Don't shame the devil. Don't tell a lie. Shame the devil. And you got them tell the truth. You want to be one of us. You want to be G. You want to be Q. You want to be Johnny. You want to be
All right,
me.
fellas. Let's get back to the actual conversation. Right now, we've kind of like sidebar too much. So if anybody wants to answer it, I think he posed a question that is valid enough to actually like get engagement to it. So, Ron, I'll throw to you. So, what is your thought on like the question that he stated?
So respectfully, I'm gonna have to disagree with you a little bit, right? I think
Okay.
I think it's a good thing that have somebody that's a constant contributor to the show that has a different perspective from a different part of the world, right? Because they can view some things from a way that we maybe can't see it from being too close to the forest to see the trees, right? So you got to kind of take all that data in. As a person that travels a lot myself, I agree with them. America Power, the chokehold that Black culture had on things, maybe like 90s and maybe 2010, it's not necessarily the same anymore. And once again, we keep on talking about this conversation, but we haven't moved the conversation off of influence and entertainment. Like, where are we going to talk about something of any other power structures where we have influence and leverage? Like, okay, good. Everybody wants to rap like us, sound like us, use the same 808s. Cool, whatever. Like, how are we going to progress the conversation forward to something that's tangible that we can actually apply leverage and power to? That's what we're not hearing. We just keep on sitting here talking about entertainment. Like, yeah, we're the gestures for the world. We get that. We know that. How do we elevate and actually wield that power onto a different platform
I stand corrected.
we want to accomplish?
I stand corrected. I apologize. I stand corrected. You're right. And you, Kamu, I apologize to you, my brother. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I'm never a person that don't never want to be like I stand corrected.
Hey, Kamo, yeah, you're always welcome, but I would suggest never refer to white people as our masters.
There we go. There we go.
Never do that.
There we go.
There you go.
Never
I missed that part. I did miss that part.
Don't ever do that again.
That's not our man.
Yeah, you missed that part. My bad. I ain't know you threw that one out there.
Yeah, never do that again.
Yeah, you were standing on your little African high horse thinking that you the shit, but you gotta check that sometimes, man. You gotta.
G, I guess I'll throw to you. His statement about the impact of Black Americans waning with the like the decline of America in general.
Yeah,
thoughts?
I don't know if I agree with like decline relative to its peak. There could be an argument, maybe. Decline relative to other nations, still is very much the top dog, and distant, and whoever you want to call second is very much like a distant second, in my opinion. So globalism, and the internet has.
Oh no, my bad. So G, so I can understand. So are you saying America, or are you talking about Black culture?
I'm
You
saying
talking about like global
the
influence
idea
on?
that America has fallen or something like that. Like,
Okay. So you talking
like,
about America generally? Okay,
yeah,
I
I'm
got
saying
you.
America in general. I don't know if I
Okay.
agree that America is on such a steep decline unless the argument is that like we hit our peak a couple decades ago as a country. Now, if you want to make the argument, I can see that, but still relative to the world global standings, like there's only one America that everybody else is typically trying to get to do business. And at the end of the day, we have the most valuable market on the globe. These emerging markets, even with all these people in Africa, China, India, they just ain't operationalized yet to the point where they have real value like the American market does. So at the end of the day, that in itself really positions us in a unique way. And Kamun brought up a point, I think maybe last week, about like if you look at black spending, it would be like its own nation. But the thing about that is like our black spending power here in America, you don't even understand how that in itself drives international influence because of our spending habits as a culture. Because we disproportionately spend so much money as a culture, the things that we spend in terms of consumerism are the things that tend to trend and then spark and do the next thing. So it's like this idea that we didn't influence sneaker culture in Japan is not true. Like sneaker culture is definitely a black American thing that didn't spread to other cultures. Whether they know it started, say, with black Americans is another question. But the reason why these things are popular is because we made them popular. Now,
So your answer to the question though is what was your answer to the question when it comes down to
I don't
is
agree that
black
America has
Americans
shrunk. I don't agree that America's influence or whatever has declined, and I don't think black Americans' cultural influence has declined. I would disagree with those.
Well, again, we're not using the word influence. We're using the word leverage. But all right, so you're saying that, say it again.
I was always saying we never had leverage. We don't have leverage. I've always said from here that we've had influence, but we've never been able to use leverage.
Okay.
Our leverage is our influence.
No.
I'm sorry.
Can I?
Go ahead, Johnny.
I mean, I agree with what Kamu said as far as like our like we've even talked about our black people, the most privileged people in the world, the most privileged black people in the. We've had that conversation, and that's directly based on whether we're exploited and like the American capitalistic system gets behind us, and we just get exploited to such a level that like it goes out there. But as that has changed, we got stuff like BRICS out there. China's like, making a major move in the market and stuff like that. And that's naturally going to, erode America's power and on the global scene. And then us just, being a byproduct of that, we're going to lose our, part of our power. And that's why I think it is important, like, as Americans, just not just black people, though, we should have, be aware of what's going on, globally when it comes to, America.
What was the conclusion of that show where you were talking about privilege, or what was your consensus?
That I think, being in America and our proximity to, like Kamu said, what white supremacy has given us a privilege, and it's
Hey,
putting us in a.
can
I
I push back on
disagree
that?
about that.
You disagree?
And old man, Quincy, yeah, I get sound like you and old man are kind of like battling for next up. But to be honest, any show that we ever have, there's rarely a conclusion. Like I think that we just we converse about it, but typically we're gonna argue.
That was my conclusion.
Yeah, that was Johnny's conclusion. Quincy, talk to us.
Yeah, dude, I've always took issue with the diaspora looking at Black Americans and saying we privileged, as if we ain't got blood spilled all over this damn country
Yeah.
to be where we at.
But
and
everybody around the diaspora has blood spilled, though. That's just
in America,
just across the diaspora, though. Like,
no, but we talking about America. Though. We talking about being privileged in America, right? And the other thing too,
the question was, we're the most privileged black people in the globe,
I'm saying to call it a privilege is to act like we didn't earn this shit and we helped build this shit. That's my problem with it. Like we America is not America without us. at all. You take everything we've contributed, all of our inventions that was stolen from us. America ain't America. So I always felt like that's outsiders looking in, honestly, with a tinge of jealousy and really kind of ignoring the history, whole history. It's kind of like a guy living in a mansion, but he earned it. But he got his ass whooped by his daddy, or he always getting his ass whooped
Hey,
by somebody.
oh
You
man,
know.
can I ask you this? Like, if you take the privilege word out of it, okay, and I get that. Like, we did earn it, but like, are Black Americans in like what about our position amongst the diaspora? Are we in like a leadership position amongst other peoples in the diaspora based on our
This is the
proximity in America?
I've never compared myself to the diaspora.
That's the thing.
I've always focused on America. So this is the problem. Diaspora people focus on us, but we don't focus on them. So we're not trying to go
That's a privilege
backwards.
in itself. Like, I mean, like
That's not a
No,
privilege.
it's
We
not.
fought to
it's a
get.
it's a advantageous position to be in.
No.
It's because we put in the work.
Yeah, but let me respond to that. Dude. I'm in Georgia. I'm from 2 hours away from here. My neighborhood is still the hood. No disrespect to the diaspora, but I ain't got time to think about them. I still go back and do stuff for my old neighborhood. So it's not even it's not. I'm not saying I'm saying it's not a privilege to not think about the diaspora, because everybody got to focus on themselves, and I'm focused on what we got going on here. What difference does it make?
What about Americans in general? Are Americans privileged in a global position? Like, just
No,
take color
Who
because
out.
cares about Americans if they not
who gave
us?
something to
The
America?
question was we're losing our power based on America losing its power. So if America's not,
I don't
that's
agree with America losing its power, though.
okay.
All right, cool. I think that Tar G throws to a like one of those questions. It's I'll ask you straight out just how she put it. How is your influence actual leverage? Oh man, I'll throw it to you first. Talk to us.
I'm not even on that. I'm on like a bunch of topics that we already covered. So you moving too fast.
Oh my bad.
Hey, can I ask how
focus on these combos, man?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I'm gonna let y'all cook for a little bit longer.
They're gonna have to come up on the panel so she can get involved.
Hey, let me ask a combo question
We love you, but you
to
don't talk to us.
Right. Let me ask combo question related to, I guess, our influence and leverage falling. I've always been wondering, hey, where is like the African or Jamaican Twitter where I can go and be engulfed in they shit? You know what I'm saying? or where? No, I'm actually dead serious. I'm actually dead serious. I'm actually dead serious. Like, where's their YouTube where I can like go log in, download their app, and go be engulfed into their stuff? And I guess like when you say we losing influence, I mean everybody comes to our stuff. I know Twitter owned by old boy now, but we know Twitter American product, Facebook American
So
product.
those are global
American.
companies, right? If you go to those countries and
Those
open
are
your
American.
app,
Don't do that.
you'll see
Those
a
are
whole
American,
different
bro.
type of algorithm based on that country that you're in.
Right.
Hold on, but those other countries don't have their own apps, their own homegrown apps that we can go
They're not
download
our
an app
own.
and
Those companies
we
are
don't own.
global companies.
No. Hold on. Dude, if you create a company right now and it goes global, you steal from North Carolina, and the creator of that is an American from North Carolina. You could call it global, but let's not skip past the fact that it is at the
headquartered
core
in America, global.
Yeah, at the core. Yeah.
Well, I guess one would say like TikTok, then, right?
TikTok is Chinese.
The
Now
biggest of
China
them all.
got it. China got it.
No, but
China
listen
definitely
with
got it. They got
listen
their
with
own
TikTok
platforms
though.
across the
The
board.
minute they prevented Americans
But we
going
can't
on
download
TikTok,
that shit though. We can't get the China shit. Only TikTok.
but the minute they did that to TikTok, all the TikTok died. The minute no Americans were involved in it for that short period of time, that's all everybody could talk about. Where are the Americans? Where are the Americans? So that right there is just proof of our cultural influence.
Well, I don't think that like the Asian, like they export TikTok, but like their main like thing isn't TikTok.
Yeah, they got a whole other social media app that's like a combination of like WhatsApp, TikTok, Twitter.
They just use it TikTok to get our information and explode.
I'm talking more about the influence.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to talk about is kind of a lot of bit of what we've been talking about. So the drill music. The thing is, everyone is delineating on everything. So with drill music, they call it UK drill. With and then they have another version called Afro drill. So to someone who's
I
like
ain't heard
young,
of Afro drill. That's
yeah,
crazy.
someone who's young coming up, and say your parents introduce you to Afro drill, you're gonna think, oh, that's
Hold on, wait.
us.
Oh,
You're
hey,
not
let
gonna know
him
the
cook.
origin.
Not old
You know what I'm
head.
saying?
Let him cook. Go ahead. We was going.
What I'm saying is that whoever introduced something to you, if they don't know the history of it, you're going to think it's yours. So it's possible that you can be naive enough to think that, oh, we created it, but it doesn't mean that that's the truth. So you can believe that, oh, we created this, we did this, but the influence still was American. It came from America. So that's the thing. So like the power is there, even if they don't know. That's what I'm trying to say.
Got you. Kamu, look like you. Yeah.
Okay. Before I engage in this, can I please clarify my assertions of calling white Americans your slave masters. So it doesn't come from it doesn't have any malicious intent. It's just an interpretation of my overall analysis, which is also something I do with African countries that have gained independence for more than 60 years, but Britain,
What the hell are
France, and
you?
all. Can I finish?
Finish.
Britain, France, and all of those guys still have a hand. So I still refer to them as their slave masters. Even us, I still refer to the Dutch and all of those people as slave masters. Because in American context, it's because you don't own anything, and every decision you make, they have a hand, and you still rely on your presidential nominees or whatever to make broader decisions that affect how you live your life, and your kids still heavily rely on their systems and all of those things. It wasn't really malicious.
Hey,
But
Kamu crazy.
come on,
I ain't gonna lie. He said I'm a double down. Fuck it.
Let him smoke, y'all. Let him smoke. Please let him smoke. Let him smoke. Let him smoke.
Why do you
let him smoke?
hey, let me
I like Kamu, but Kamu got on my nerves tonight. What the fuck wrong with you, Kamu? What the fuck is wrong with you? For real, I'm being honest with you. God damn it. If you look at it right now, y'all niggas ain't been freed. Y'all niggas slaves damn near for the last 1980s. Niggas rap music goddamn got y'all into AFRICA, Angola, Noel, Zimbabwe, from Zambia, Navia, and all this motherfucking shit. We goddamn helped y'all goddamn free y'all asses. Y'all goddamn, y'all president in the 90s was still in jail when we made that rap song. What the fuck are you talking about with us goddamn not being this or that, whatever? If it weren't for us, black people with this rap music, y'all niggas would have been fucked up. So shut the fuck up.
Okay, let me just test my theory real quick.
Hey,
Let
he's saying
me
that with
just test
love,
my
Kamo. He's
theory
saying
real
that with
quick.
love.
Do you
Doing my
educate your
intro.
kid?
Doing my introduction as I walk out for boxing.
Okay.
Hey, let me try to bridge the gap here. so look, Kamo, I'm gonna be honest with you. I halfway understand what you're trying to say, but I think it's always gonna strike a nerve because when you say like we don't own anything, it's not for lack of trying. You know what I mean? Like when I hear like a African say that we don't own anything, I think about all the towns that was burnt down when we tried to build stuff. You know what I mean? And it feels like that's kind of being dismissed. You know, when you say that, you know, and that's where it's like a deep trigger, you know, in us as if we didn't try. You know what I mean? And that's as if every time we tried, them folks ain't come through, you know, shooting and looting. You know what I mean? So
I can engage you.
But
I can engage you.
I think to what Quincy is saying, and I think that this is where a lot of what he's saying is like messenger. So because of there's also the space that as like Black Americans we speak about white supremacy, and then globally we talk about like global white supremacy and how it always works together and is on code. And that's kind of what he's using. That's what he's talking about. But being the fact that he's from where he's from and what he said, it doesn't come off as he loses the leverage in the conversation. But yeah, Quincy, I don't want to step on what you're saying.
Oh,
yeah. So Quincy, I mean, I can engage you on that. I mean, I understand that totally, and no disrespect, bro. I mean, the same thing happened here. We built all of these cities, and then after we did that, our masters came together and they put
Just
in
say
place a law
colonizer.
that
Just
did
say
this
colonizer.
Yeah, stop saying that word,
before the
bro.
white man
Stop
got
saying
there.
masters.
That word.
Yeah, I think that like everybody kind of fucks with, or understands your sentiment for the most part. I can't say fuck with, but they at least understand where you're trying to get to.
What cities?
You're just using a really loaded word, and that's going to be triggering regardless.
What you not understanding is that what they trying to tell you: do not ever again in your fucking life say slave masters to us, because else of that, you probably everybody on this whole page gonna hate your ass because we have no slave masters. Y'all had slave masters, and y'all was only let out of your own country. That the majority of it was people that looked like you 40 years ago. No. Let me finish. Let me finish. You need to stop being disrespectful towards us with this bullshit. We represent you. We love everything you do or whatever right now. But right now you're being very fucking disrespectful. So shut the fuck up with that bullshit. For real.
Come on.
I'm done with it.
Malcolm X. Malcolm X.
I also want to say that don't even refer to them as the masters of your people either. Don't do that. It's a mindset, bro.
Exactly.
Don't say that about your own people that they were your masters. Don't do it.
Quincy. Malcolm X in the 60s referred to them as your masters. And you want to tell me that now, today, you're better off than you were in the 60s?
Yes, we are. We better than you are right now in this day and age.
You sound like a white person trying to justify you a nigger. Like, just don't do it. Take it out of the vocabulary.
A respected Malcolm X, but he could say that and we'll respond to him different because he's us.
You're not us. You're not us.
And he's
you are
Malcolm
not
X.
us.
And he's Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? So much respect to you, but you ain't Malcolm X. So.
And you're using,
listen again. Like I think that right now, I don't want this conversation to kind of like take us down the need of like going down this road. But what I'll say is, Kamu, right now, in essence, the easiest thing is: do you want to like say your statement and just get it off, or do you want to be understood in what you're saying? I think that using the terminology that you're using is loaded, and so everybody's going to push back on it. It just is what it is. Like, there's so many other words that you're articulate enough to use to be able to not, trigger everybody. You can't even have the actual conversation.
You learned the King's English too.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say to Kamo is that when Malcolm X and other leaders used that vernacular, it was for a purpose, to get us riled up. You're talking about, you're using that word in a calm conversation. There's no need for you to say that. Right, you're not our leader. You're not trying to get us to move towards a goal. It was strategic when they used those words. So just don't use it, and don't use it for your people either.
No, I get. Okay, I hear you, bro. I get that.
You still cool. Everybody fall off sometime, man. Everybody fuck up.
Yeah,
Johnny, what thought you, Johnny? Before we move to the next topic, go ahead, Johnny.
No, I said, I mean, like I said, I think some of the word, master, that's a tough one. But what he was saying, I actually kind of, I kind of understood what.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you get fucked up when you use wrong terminology.
And like, so like, and like, I could get past, and I'll listen to the message. But like, I actually thought, what you were saying had a lot of validity. So I can't, I ain't even.
All right, Johnny, like, can you say it so then the panel can? No.
Johnny,
don't say master. Don't say master. I ain't saying say master. say his
Johnny.
message though. I'm saying say his
What
message.
was valid? What was
Say it
valid,
how
Johnny?
Yeah, what you
better.
thought was valid. The
Oh,
part
what?
that you thought was valid.
Oh, just about like Black America's influence falling off proportionately to America's influence. Now, some people might not agree that America's falling off. That's another discussion. But I think if you do agree, I think Black people's power will fall off proportionately too. I think that's all he was trying to say, in his original piece.
So I don't look at it as falling off. I look at it as other countries, as they should, are catching up and being more
Well,
self-reliant.
you're catching
But
up because
but
but
they're
that takes
following
away.
our example. Once again, they're following the example that we've done. That's why they had the bricks and all that stuff. So it's not that we're falling off. It's just everybody's catching up.
I mean, and you could maybe say that. Like, I mean, I guess like the gap is narrowing, but our lead isn't as much as it used to be.
Yeah, but
Like,
that's
The
also
problem with our
assuming.
league not being what it used to be is because who we have representing us.
I mean, yeah,
We
it's probably a lot of reasons why. But
that's the representative of us that has everybody upset at us and laughing at us. Our representative. It has nothing to do with anything with that right there. It's our representatives. We have had actors. Now we have a reality star that's our president. We have, and it's that right there. America will elect anybody to represent them as long as they are a representative. And that's what the follow, and that's why Camus is covering his face because he's laughing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the truth. We have lack of decent representatives. And the people that do represent us in the wrong way, in a wrong light. And we don't have people that have morals anymore. What we have is people that have
If that's who we choose over and over again
okay.
to represent us, what
I'm
does that
sorry.
say about us as a nation?
We don't choose them.
We exactly. There you go.
who chooses them?
There you go.
Never mind. Never mind.
Oh, the
It's,
powers that be, the boule.
The people that got
The-
power
No,
and
we
leverage
use
with
our
the
leverage to choose
conversation
them,
is what we're
right?
supposed to
We
be
use our
about.
leverage to
We
choose
don't
them, right?
got
Yeah.
we thought we chose people, but we never chose anybody.
I
And
thought
the
that's
thing
where we
is
use our
that
leverage to choose these people. No,
Nah,
Versus
All
Philly.
right, so fellas, let me throw y'all to a I guess another space. Adjacent, close, but we'll move the conversation a little bit. Speaking to a little bit of where y'all at, but not really. I think that generally speaking, we can all say that the world since when we was younger to now has become flat. Flat meaning the impact of the internet. Everybody sees everything has become almost like, you know what I mean, very, very linear when it comes down to the consumption of culture, goods, XYZ. Has the internet and social media diluted Black cultural impact and leverage?
Yeah, that's what I said at the beginning. It's technology that did it.
Okay. Anybody else?
I agree, and I had a question about real quick. I had a statement about social media and YouTube that's related to what Kamu was talking about as far as everybody other countries coming up. They still want to look at Black Americans. I mean, I've heard the lady's Nigerian, the guy's like some kind of Caribbean or whatever. They have big YouTube channels, right? But they always talk about us. And they literally said out of their mouths, they said when they get complaints of, hey, when people say, why you ain't talking about Nigeria or why you ain't talking about your Caribbean country, they said out of their mouth, well, when I tried to, my views dropped. So literally the world wants to look and look at us and talk about us and hear about us. So I'm not sure where that falls in the leverage and the influence and all that stuff, but
Hey, can I ask a question though?
Well, I think
Okay.
okay. I think the question should be: Has the internet diluted your culture and niche? Because we have
well,
concluded
that's a
that you
yes.
don't have.
That's yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Somebody said they had a question. Who was that?
Well,
I
no,
mean, yeah. I mean,
I want to ask the gentleman that just spoke.
Okay,
Okay,
Al. Okay.
when you talk, I mean, but isn't that kind of like a double-edged sword in a way? Because okay, it's okay when with social media, with all the images that's out there, it's like, yes, okay, your influence, your culture, your major cultural exporter is out there, but then at the same time, you also have a large voice of your dysfunction, a large voice of all your cultural
Mhm.
garbage, a large voice of all the things that's wrong with you. Also, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think that sometimes that's like a double, like is it like, okay, when I went around the world and you meet people, right? And then you'll meet a person from a certain country, and you be like, damn, this person wild as hell. Now you might go on YouTube and look and type their country or type that person in, and they showing all only the positive stuff
Yeah.
about themselves. They
Yeah.
not showing all the behind the scenes, and it's like that's why I kind of see, like, I understand what people are saying, because that's like a big thing with us as far as, like, you know, a cultural export. You seeing yourself or seeing whatever, but it's like, to me, sometimes the cultural privacy is kind of a little bit more valuable, because it's like you're not just seeing everything, all our dysfunction for the world, or because then it leads
Mm.
people to have opinions, and it leads people to judge you, and it leads people to do what they're doing now, and then we wonder, like, why this? But it's like, with all your business is before the street, so of course
Hey,
people they're gonna have.
right, right. And I'm agreeing with you. And that goes back to what they was talking about earlier about Tyler Perry saying that, well, we black people are the only ones that do X, Y, and Z. But see, Tyler, do he speak Cantonese? Do he speak Japanese? Do he speak any of these other languages to be on their social media and see when they talking about all they mess and all they ignorance? No. But but of course we see our stuff, and like you said, brother, our stuff is kind of mainstream, and it does get put out there for consumption, and a lot of times people actually make a whole lot of the diaspora itself makes a whole lot of money off of Black American dysfunction, off of highlighting it. That's where you get your media, not media takeout, but your World Star. What's the other one? Name the gossip sites. All them gossip
Shade
sites.
room.
Yeah,
Shade
yeah,
Room.
yeah,
All them
yeah.
gossip
You
sites. All them gossip sites are foreign owned, but they highlight. They make money by highlighting Black American dysfunction. So but so I agree with you, brother. Yeah, it is a double-edged sword, and people do see all of our mess, and that's why they be having these crazy opinions about us, because our worst gets the worst of us gets put out there to the world. So I agree with you.
And I think that describes exactly why we don't have leverage. If we had leverage, we can control our message getting out and shape how we want the world to see us.
Yep, you're right.
True,
Our
but
message is. Go ahead. I'm sorry to
oh no,
interrupt you.
you got it. You got it. My bad. You got it.
No, what I'm saying is that our message is a message that the world perceives in different ways. No matter where you go to, our culture, our advantage, like you could do something here and you could be in Chicago and do something. And it get popular enough here in the States and somebody in Asia going to follow it and it become an influence. You could do the same thing in Los Angeles. And the thing is that we have such a polarizing substance as us being the people. And what us being polarizing people so much, we populate the world with all events. It has nothing to do with just music, entertainment, anything like that. If we could get together and put a political party that's together like that, things would be great. And that's one of the issues that happened with Puffy. He did all the bullshit he did, but once he said that we need to get the black party together, that's when they closed the door on them. Even though they had been chasing them since 2008.
Yeah.
You look how long it had been. But once he said that, that's what closed the door on him. All right.
And oh no, you good. So I
No,
guess
you
leading with what you said into like the next part of the conversation. How can a Black America convert cultural impact into real economic and political power,
Hey,
fellas?
let the host go. Let the host go.
You talking about me?
Yeah, let's you
Yeah.
three. We haven't heard from y'all in a while, so
Yeah, I say
Go ahead. We'll go Johnny, then G.
lobbyists. I was on that last time. I mean, like, if you take a lot of these like the industries that we do have, the ones of us that are, you know, in a position, if you can take that and put it into lobbyists and an actual group that we see other lobbyist groups and they get things done, they get legislation passed, they do actual real change, and it's through lobbying, it's not through voting. The
Right, but
politicians don't.
Johnny, can I push on you? Well, yeah, push back. We'll just use that word. But is that specifically? I
I'm
guess.
tired of y'all. No. Let me say this right here. I'm tired of y'all with these goddamn pause, all this shit.
Now we're
Pause,
gonna do
goddamn,
it.
no
We're gonna
this,
keep doing
no
it. It's fun.
whatever. But
It's
goddamn it,
fun.
stop that
I
shit.
like it. It's
Stop it.
fun.
It's
But ain't
petty.
nobody on here on no shit like that. So let it go. Let it go.
It's fun.
Let it,
You
I'm
got to be
sorry, but
careful,
it's
Unc. You
fun.
might catch one too.
Yeah. We might have to throw a
I ain't
pause your
catching
way.
shit. I ain't gonna catch shit. Fuck y'all niggas. I ain't catching shit. I'm a grown ass man. I say the fuck I want to say. Like every other grown man on here say the fuck they want to say. If you want to goddamn do a gay joke, so fucking what? You childish. You childish ass old
As
motherfucker.
fuck.
Grow the
Hey,
fuck
listen,
up. Real
listen.
shit.
What are we? We millennials, yeah.
We grown
Us
I don't
ass
give
millennials,
a
niggas.
fuck
we
where y'all
childish.
come from. I don't
Yeah,
care what
we
you with.
childish.
Childish ass.
But we like the pause, so
Goddamn,
we got to
throw
throw the
this
pause in
blood. Goddamn, I throw one or two back at you, and it's gonna hurt your feelings
Pause.
real bad. Now, you know me, I hurt feelings real bad when I talk like that, real shit.
Hey,
So
but damn, what was you saying, Johnny?
I'm talking about. I think we should, like, you know,
Oh, all right,
focus in
but
on like
yeah,
a
you
lobby
weren't
or
like addressing the actual question. Uh,
what.
so the
Repeat the
idea is, how do
question.
you convert cultural impact into economic and political power? You're talking about economic power to lobby, where the question is asking, how do you convert it to economic power to be able to lobby?
Yeah, I didn't answer that. I gotta go. I gotta. But my end goal was lobbying. I have to figure out how to get
Yeah,
back there. I have to
wild
figure out
lobby
how to
boy,
get
I got you.
there.
I got to answer after
All
the
right.
king, G the king.
Okay.
So if this were to really happen,
Mm-hmm.
it would take a monumental feat,
Uh-oh.
which I don't foresee actually taking place. But in order to really like leverage the cultural influence into economic and political power, it would take some cooperation. And so, examples of this, right? Like when the NBA was in the bubble, they could have shut that shit down and got together as players and said, "No, we're not doing this." Same thing with the Donald Sterling situation. The players could have got together and said, "Oh no, we're not standing for this." Right? I think from a cult, when you look at who the biggest cultural influencers are in our culture, it tends to be from sports and entertainment or music. Like that's where it tends to be. And when you look at the fact that we don't really have any real equity in these industries, but yet we are all of where these industries are making their money, at some point, if all of the black athletes got together and said, like, this is how we're moving as black professional athletes, and if black entertainers got together and said, this is how we're moving as black entertainers, then it would literally force the folks around them to adjust, because they wouldn't be able to make quality products without these people. Like at the end of the day, their products would suffer. The demand that they would generate would suffer.
And so G, if I'm hearing you correctly, in essence, you're saying leverage the actual cultural equity.
It's got to come from the people responsible for producing what's so valuable of the culture.
But how you
leverage
get
our
things to
labor.
move is the idea that, like, your equity inside what makes the product good is so high and valuable that they have to go to the whim of whatever you're saying. Like, if
that's the only way to
LeBron
do
and
it.
them actually stop, like, I'm sure you remember, you're a basketball head, so remember during the bubble, there was those meetings that was happening right before, those maybe it was like close to the start of the playoffs, quote unquote, of the bubble, and everybody was inside their own locker rooms, and it was like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it.
They was waiting for Bron.
I think the Clippers actually, like, the team voted not to even stay in the bubble, but Bron said go, so the league went.
Now that's leverage.
that's leverage. That
No,
is leverage.
I
When
thought
one
that
person
I
say
thought
it, you got
Obama.
leverage.
I thought
Okay,
Obama.
can you read? Can you put
Nah, it was
Obama
You
didn't
proposed a
call
question?
LeBron.
I
Obama
don't know
might
if
have been a part
Obama
of like
called
the
LeBron.
quote
I know
unquote
that
recruiting.
everybody was
Yeah.
waiting on what the Lakers
But
was going to
if
do because of
LeBron would have
LeBron.
made a decision, everybody else would have followed.
But
Okay.
Obama did squash that.
Leverage would have been the
Protest,
players
didn't he?
starting their own function at that point instead of
Yeah.
having
So
the NBA.
yeah. So this is what I was going to say. It's happening. What you just presented to us. Delineation is the reclaiming of our cultural power. It has nothing to do with people from diaspora or Caribbean. It's about us. So what you propose is what we're doing. That's what's happening. Delineation. That's what's happening. That's how we regain it.
Who proposed what?
Right. Propose the
I'm
question. Say
connected
the
to the
question
dots.
again. Say the question again.
You said who proposed what now?
Say the question again. How you said it?
You said
he
that what
said
we
the question. He
proposed.
asked
Okay,
the question.
I'll re-ask the question. I said, how can black people? Oh, my bad. I said black people. How can Black America convert cultural impact into real economic and political change?
Through delineation.
Oh, my bad. Real economic and political power.
Through delineation, and that's what we're doing now. And remember, when we were segregated, we were actually growing way faster than white men or white people or the so-called what Kama would say. But they integrated us. That's what killed our power. So think where we would be if none of that happened. And even when we separated and delineated from them by force from them, because they said they didn't want to be around us, then when we succeeded, they bombed us back into integration. So the delineation is the most powerful thing. That's why everyone in America and abroad are pissed off, because
All right,
they know
walk with me real quick. Just so I understand. So within delineation, how would you be saying that will allow black people to get real economic power?
Because what is the one thing that everybody says? We don't know who we are. And we've always been given a name and an identity. Now we're determining, we're putting down the law and saying this is who we are, and you're going to call us by our name. Just like Muhammad Ali said, what's my name? You're going to call us by our name. There's no ifs, ands, maybes. We're going to go back. No, you're going to call us by our name. Then the next step is going to be like, and you're not going to call yourself what we are. So it's stages. But the first thing, it sounds remedial right now or basic, but the most powerful thing is to claim our identity, our heritage, our ethnicity, and let people know that many of the black people who they talk about, we were already here. Only in America, we are the true Americans. We are the copper-colored people described in the Webster Dictionary in 1828.
Gotcha. All right. So, but making sure that we stay to where we're at.
Hey, I'm
so
just
like you said. So I understand you saying delineation, and then like recognition of being like separate group. I guess how does that convert into real economic impact?
That's the first step. That's the most powerful thing. And then from
I get that. So like, if we look at like the longer play, how does that end up manifesting itself?
Damn. So that's the first step. And then from there, like someone said on the panel, create our own political party. That's the next step. And then so on and so on. I can't foresee the future, but what we're doing is absolutely 100% right. You know how I know? Because everybody mad.
And because everybody else is doing it right now. We're always told about how other immigrant groups come in and work together and prioritize and they practice nepotism with each other. So if part of delineation, if that does give us one real identity, not like black, where everybody could be black, not like, but a real ethnic identity, then I think that will spark something within us to prioritize each other instead of kind of trying to spread the wealth like we've been doing for the last 60 years. Because we see all these other groups, they come over here, including the Africans, but because they're super proud to be Nigerian, they work together. Because they're super proud to be Jamaicans, they work together. Because they're super proud to be Indians in IT, they work together. Right.
So I guess let me engage you a little bit with where you're at and what you're saying. I do think that you can use those as examples, but you can also look at the third. No, it's the second lowest immigrant group, and they are almost to a cliche known for working together. Hispanics are known to work together, but it's Indians, like not Indians, Native Americans, then Hispanics, then Black people. When you look at the lower third, or lower three of like minorities in America, and you know what I mean, like their average income XYZ. Like you understand what I'm saying? But so saying all that to say, again, we understand like working together, delineation. How does those things convert into real economic power? And I guess that's what I'm still trying to understand.
Can I just reply to what you just said? When have the Mexicans and Nigerians worked together, and what did they get out of it?
Well, I never was implying that they work together.
But you rank them like they're higher than us. We're the people that we get the bad rap, just like everybody's a ninja that's in the Black community. But
yeah, all right. So we are
the real group that works together. We're the only group that really works together.
All right, so old man, I guess one like a part of that conversation ends up being like you push back to Quincy maybe, but like what I'm stating in like I guess how I placed it inside like a hierarchical manner was based off of what is it? Pretty much income per person by demographic, where it goes Native American, and this is kind of me like I haven't looked at it in maybe like maybe a month or two, so I can't really remember. But generally speaking, I think it goes like Native American, Hispanic, Black, white, Asian, like African, Indian, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's kind of like the general hierarchical status of like when you look at who's making money in America. And then you can break that down by gender, and it pretty much follows the exact same thing, but it's male, female.
And I just
that's how I was kind of like making that. It wasn't based off of like anything other than actual economic in wealth.
Just can I just say something? And this is real. Now, you know, us being from Newark, right? We from Newark. We seen the burnt down buildings and things like that. Well, you don't remember it because you was a baby. But what I'm saying to you is this right here. Now, you had these buildings that was burnt down, and you had these buildings that were burnt, and some of them didn't get all the way burnt down. But you had abandoned houses around there. And with them abandoned houses being there, we saw a fluctuation of Haitians, Hispanics that would buy these houses, right? And you know, you could buy them houses on the low. And with them buying them houses on the low, what they would do was they would be multi-family houses or a house that they turn into a multi-family house. And with them doing that, with them as being a culture or being them in the presence, with them with doing that right there, you would take and you would have 5 or 6 families that would get this house, right? They would take their house and they build their house and they make their house into where we look at it like, oh, that's an old abandoned building. No, they looked at it as that we can take this and have what we need from it. And they took their house, and you will have plenty of families that lived in there from the basement to the 3rd floor to the attic. And with them doing that, they sat there and they made that, and they sat and they took care of their house, and they built that house. Basically, they built the house from beginning to end, and they stay there for a couple of years, and they'll buy another one. They'll do this. That's what we don't have. We don't have that. They took care of that. They did that, and that's why right now when you go to Irvington, New Jersey, Haitians are the number one because they found out about that. They told each other about that, and they made what it is. And it, excuse my coughing, but it might be the hood, but guess what? You can have a hood full of homeowners or those people. They own that property. They own those property, and they might not be doing the best things, and it might not be the best things. but they own all of that. They took care of that land and them properties, and they owned that.
Yeah.
Much of us, we sat there. No, we sat there as black people and watched them take over a whole town.
Can I just say this? I
And,
don't
and,
like.
and, and
I
I
don't like
understand
this
what you're saying.
question.
Let me just
And
finish. Let me just
I
finish
don't like
saying
this
what I'm
question
saying.
or topic because we should not be revealing anything that we want to do because that would just make it easier for someone to prevent us from doing it.
Yeah, but also this if can I just respond to that?
Okay.
They also they have a. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm sorry. Q.
I got
Oh
y'all.
no,
No,
go,
no, I'm
all right. So I guess let me interject this really quickly, and then I'll go to you, Quincy, because I guess this was like the rounding that I wanted to get to on the point. When I was giving like a hierarchical example of Hispanics, and if we take what Unc just said when you speak about what Hispanics did, and they took like those abandoned houses and XYZ. The bigger point that I was making, the bigger point that I was making is that I don't think that it's explicitly the idea of group economics because of we've seen a community that has explicitly exercised group economics and still been placed under Black Americans. When we look at total income per household in general. So, like, you can also look at other groups and see what they have prioritized and have been more successful inside the capitalistic world of America. And to me, that ends up being like a concentration of education, higher income careers, and making sure that you take over industry. And to me, like those are like if we're getting into like how you turn like cultural influence into power, you'll probably lean that more than the idea of like specifically group economics. Because of, if anything, in my opinion, Hispanics have shown that group economics by itself doesn't do the thing. Because of, again, like we all know them almost to a cliche to exercise that, but again, somehow doing that over the past 30 years, they're still inside like average income under Black people. Quincy.
Oh, so okay, so there's a few things.
Okay.
Let me jump back over to Unc. And it's related to what you're saying too. So the biggest problem with comparing us to other groups is that we have been here since the beginning, and a lot of those groups they have a different standard of living, right? So when he's saying they see a burnt down house, and they see opportunity where we see where we did it already. We're quote unquote past that.
Right.
We did that years ago. If you read the autobiography of Malcolm X, he talk about how his sister did exactly what he described. His sister was the person that let all the people who moved to Boston, they come and stay with her first, you know, get their feet, get on their feet, and then they branch out or whatnot. So we've been doing what he just mentioned that the Haitians do. We just did it years ago. You know what I mean? We did it years ago, and we're trying to move forward. And like that, that's not really. I'm not gonna say that's not our fight, but that's not really our. Yeah, what's
Quincy,
up?
I don't mean to cut you off, but
What's up?
I understand exactly what you're saying because I have spoke about this, and this is the reason why we don't do it because they burnt down everything that we ever did. But I'm just speaking on how it seems amazing that they did it and then burn down their things, but we can do it. But I guess in small quarters with them doing it, it made things good for them to happen.
Correct.
So,
That
so, so they did burn it. So
no,
this is how I look at it: allowing immigrants to come into our community is burning our community, but we don't see fire. We barely see smoke. We just see people that look like us. It's camouflage. So when they take from us, they're taking from us by letting them
yeah.
come in, whether they're legal or illegal. They're not bringing them into their communities. They're bringing them into our communities to take from it honey again, taking the honey.
And if and to piggyback off of that, that's the biggest thing about like the whole buy black, because the whole purpose of buying black and supporting black businesses is that the money circulates in the black community, right? That's the whole point. But like he just said, if it's folks who come from out of town and they send money back home, that's money that's not circulating within the black community. You know, I love this Jamaican restaurant around the corner. I go there all the time. But is that money being circulated in the black community? I don't know. I'm pretty sure he got some people back in Jamaica he got to take care of. You
Hold
know?
on, man. Are you guys saying you? Are you guys saying that you can't progress because they bombed you 100 years ago?
No. That's not
No,
what we're
saying
saying.
everything every step we take, they have a counter step, a counter reaction. So they can't just go out
Yeah,
and
but
bomb us now anymore, right? It's not.
yeah,
We passed that point, but it's more
yeah.
covert, and that's why I mentioned a good evil last time, because if Kamala had won, no one would believe what we say, because it's all covert. It's all it's under illusion of a blackface, a living, breathing blackface that really isn't of our ethnicity. See, so that's the problem. But now, because we have a Donald Trump and white people don't get along either, they all back and forth after themselves. But because he's there, he's a rogue president, everyone sees everyone's ish. That's why I called it a good
No, I
evil.
hear everything. I hear everything you say. I hear everything, and look, it's a fair concern, but still, it doesn't stop you guys from putting your efforts together and building something for yourself. I mean, okay, let's forget about the Mexicans
Come on.
and the Spanish
Come on.
people.
Come on. Y'all outnumber the
Yeah,
white folks over there. Y'all outnumber the white folks.
yeah, no, bro.
So
Look,
by the same
look, bro.
token, what's
I
stopping y'all from
Exactly.
running them about the
Exactly.
country?
look,
Y'all
look.
have
I
a
can.
no. Can I
Okay.
say?
Listen. Look, no, wait. You see, when you talk about us, bro, we have a clearly defined mission. We know what progress we are, and we know what we're fighting for. We're fighting for the land. Ours and yours is different. You are fighting for existence in a country that you are a minority.
No,
So
we're
you
not
should
fighting
be
Damn.
for
careful.
existence.
I
Damn.
fight for my
No. He
land
just
is
dropped a
different from
Jew.
yours.
He just dropped a Jew.
We're not who fighting for we
Well,
exist, but we're
well,
not fighting
well,
for existence.
No,
well. Listen, I can make laws. You can't.
he
I can
did.
make laws, and I have made laws.
Come
You
on,
can't make laws.
you a politician?
No. I'm saying my people are making laws.
Okay, so you're a regular citizen just like
You
us.
know what I mean?
But I know, but
No.
see,
No,
Listen,
we don't
bro.
know what you mean.
but see,
We don't know what you mean. Tell
let
us
me
what
say
you
this.
mean.
Listen.
No, let me say this.
Hold on.
A lot of
What?
times, no, let me get this out, man. Because a lot of times Africans try to act like just because I'm an African in my country and my leaders are African, then we can flex and say we got power. You have no
They
more
ain't got no
power.
power.
Yeah, you have
Quincy,
no more.
Quincy, Quincy,
You have no more
Quincy.
power
I
as a
said to you, are you listening, bro? I said to you, we have a clearly defined mission. We know what we
yeah.
are fighting. We are fighting for the land, and we have legislated that. We have put that in paper. We are making progress in that regard. I'm saying to you, bro, you need to organize and do things for yourself. And by the way, I'm looking at things now. You keep on making excuses about something that happened 100 years ago. It doesn't help you. You have to work on something. What are you working on now? You're going to tell me, okay, reparations. When you talk about reparations, are you talking about the music that we were talking about now? Are you talking about ownership of music? You're not. You're talking about money.
Of course,
When you
that's
talk about
yeah.
reparations, you're
That's
talking about money, bro.
reparations. Hold on. Two things. Reparations first and foremost is
Reparations had
money.
nothing to do with money.
Yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing, my guy just spoke earlier, and he talking about what we're working on, and we spoke about how delineation would spark something within Black Americans, something that I honestly feel like we are missing as far as having ethnic pride in ways that a lot of groups who do come to America have ethnic pride, and they do work together. We have racial pride, but we don't have specific ethnic pride.
Okay.
So
So
if
let's
we get
let
that in, no,
not to cut you
let
off.
me get
Let's take the delineation partner. Let's say tomorrow Donald Trump asks for black people to delegate a leader to discuss a delineation legislation or whatever. Who is who are you going to appoint to go to the White House and represent your demands?
We will not appoint one leader. We'll send a group of people of of group of people. We learn from that. When you have one leader, it's easy to identify and kill the movement because they killed the leader. So we're never going to have a one person leader anymore.
So
We
you're
are
not sending anyone.
Claude
So
ain't
you're not sending anyone.
Can't have
We're sending
anyone.
a group of people.
Can't have anyone. We can't
All right,
Sending
so
a
have.
bunch of people to the White
all right,
House,
so fellas.
basically.
This has been a
After
fun,
show.
interesting conversation. But with that said, we hitting at 3:10 when it comes down to time on this show. So what I'll do is, man, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's gonna be too long. All right. So matter of fact, I'm gonna just run down everybody's name and we can finish chopping it up on the after show. So again, this has been Unpacked. At the top, we got G-ish podcast. Next to him, Johnny, 1:30 the To Be Fair show. Catch him on Sundays at 4:30. Chopping shit, pop culture, regular culture, FBA culture, diaspora culture. I think that's what he said last time I seen him. But beside him, we have the WNBA's favorite supporter, Mr. All-Star Game himself, Ron.
Hey, who's his girl? Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese?
Yeah.
Not Angel Wilson.
Angel Wilson. Okay.
I forgot. I just seen the clip. They wasn't even letting the studs in the party. That was crazy. We'll get to that.
Stud buds are
yeah, the stud buds. They wasn't letting the stud buds in the party.
They didn't have leverage.
They hilarious.
Good one, Johnny. But South Africa's own. I think that he probably busted at least one of Uncle's blood vessels in his neck earlier. It was what it was.
Uncle is smoking ever since he said that.
Right, he done ran a whole pack of Newports out, man. Come on. Nonetheless, we have a favorite, a constant contributor. Oh man, straight out of Cali. We have Quincy out of Georgia, a newcomer to the show. We wasn't able to get him. Well, he wasn't aggressive inside the sense of like, Al, when you hop in here, the guys we just gonna chop it up. Wherever you feel fit to kind of hop in, feel free to hop in. But we did get a new voice to the panel today with Al Morris. We appreciate it. Make sure you come back. Make sure you stay in the chat. We do appreciate your contributions to the conversation. And last but not least, Mr. Newport, Mr. Yella at an immigrant. Mr. Hold on, let me put him up. Hey, but shout out. We about to be in Clinton, South Carolina for the family reunion this weekend. I'll make sure that I come with stories next week to let y'all know how that goes. But nonetheless, it is Ses Majid Unk himself. And with that said, I am Q. This has been Unpacked. This has been a fun conversation. We appreciate everybody's input. Yeah. And again, with that said, this has been a fun episode of Unpacked. You can catch us here every Wednesday, 9:30. We're talking about Black American culture and conversations that are at least at minimal adjacent to it. Make sure that you pull up, like, comment, subscribe. With that said, we out. Peace.
It doesn't matter how you feel.